What is up, Couch Company Podcast? I'm John, and with me as always, Tyler.
Hey, John.
How's it going, man?
It's good. It's a rainy Saturday. We're recording a day later.
We are recording a day later, and it is perfect mood for the episode in store for us. Before we get to that part, we're going to always start with our Twitter polls of the week.
Oh, you're just jumping straight in.
Right into it.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay.
I was thinking about these polls.
Yeah,
that's why I'm so good.
Dude, like go for it. What
well,
do you got?
so this was pretty interesting. I thought we had two pretty good ones here. So on Tuesday, our video game poll had a matchup between two characters, right? Geralt of Rivia and Talion from Shadow of War. So I've been playing Shadow of War.
Yeah.
And those two seem pretty similar in style and everything like that. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of differences, but I was like, man, what if they fought? That would be pretty close, I think. So we have the results of that. So actually on Twitter, it was completely tied.
Yeah.
But on our research department's poll, it was a landslide for Geralt.
Which is interesting because I feel like it's a closer fight, and everyone kind of came to their own conclusions on how, X person would beat the other guy.
Which is what you do in this situation.
No, I know. I feel like it's interesting that Geralt comes on top. So for me...
That's what you said.
For me, it's like, all right, well, Talion can literally bring like an army of orcs.
Yeah.
So you were saying, the spirit of it was mano a mano.
Yeah, so I didn't really consider it like he brings an army. I thought of it as a one-on-one. But my whole argument is like, I mean, Talion's pretty much two people, one of which is like an OP elf.
Yeah.
Who literally forged the ring that fucked everyone. So I don't know. He's pretty strong. But I guess it comes down to, like, obviously Geralt has a lot of things to deal with, wraiths or things of that nature, right? So how does that affect him? I don't know.
I would say to make it a fair fight, you would have to merge the universes. So
yeah, right, yeah. So he would have some sort of impact.
Yeah,
on
like
that.
he's a ghost. So like Geralt can do some damage to like a one-on-one thing,
like a ghost. Yeah,
yeah. Right. I don't know. I feel like though if I was looking at your full breadth, so like if Geralt can pop potions, pull out like different special whatever, lay traps, all the witchery stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Talion could just be like, all right, I'm just going to bring my orc army.
Yeah.
And just be like, all right.
If Talion is able to bring an orc army,
that's what I mean. Like, that's how
over.
I viewed it, where I'm just like, you take everything that is one character, you take everything that is the other character.
Yeah.
Now, to be completely fair, if Geralt's like, all right, well, I want to bring my Witcher Brotherhood, go for it.
He still loses.
Talion's still
beat
how many
orcs you get by the end of that game? Like,
not to spoil Witcher 2, but I was watching some Witchers not be the best swordsman in the world.
Yeah.
For things less than just massive orc stampeding. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think it'd be pretty close. To me, it's like some of the abilities Talion has are just insanely ridiculous. Like the Elven Rage, like pretty much time slows down to a halt. So that's how fast he's moving. Yeah. Right. And then there's just like shooting like a million arrows and just chopping the fuck out of people. Like, what do you do against that? I mean, you're just moving so fast.
Yeah, but do you think that Geralt's like potions like at least let him like comprehend what's going on?
I don't know.
Like, it's kind of like, oh, there's a potion for that.
It's been
like,
a while.
We got this. It's not a problem. Yeah.
Potion belt.
Or do you think that he puts up the wards and stuff where like it doesn't matter how fast you're moving, you're not getting through this.
Yeah. That's also possible.
I like how Geralt's.
I don't think Geralt's like swordsmanship is that far superior to Talion's though. Like
it's
Talion's
just cooler.
The captain of the Rangers.
Yeah.
And they're insane.
Yep.
Like Aragorn was a ranger.
Yeah, till he broke his toe.
But he was like...
They kicked him out after that.
Dude, he's like superhuman.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. They're like pretty sick.
Yeah, but Geralt's superhuman too.
Absolutely. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, of course. Geralt, everyone's saying that he's the best, but I'm just saying I think it'd be closer than you think.
If it's one-on-one, yeah, I mean, it's going to be close, right? Like, I feel like at the end of that
because
episode...
Because at the end of the day, even if you can deal with Celebrimbor...
Yeah.
Talion himself is a dude
Yeah, I don't
And-
think Talion is an issue. I think it's strictly Celebrimbor. You gotta lock
Absolutely,
that down.
yeah. I'm just saying, if you somehow neutralize him, Celebrimbor, right?
Uh-huh.
You're putting all your effort into that. You still have a ranger to deal with.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But I feel like if you put Celebrimbor down, Talion dies, right? Because isn't Celebrimbor, and I haven't played the games in a
I
while,
don't
but
know.
doesn't Celebrimbor just like animate him basically?
if we're being like really technical, you can kill Talion as many times as you want, and he just comes back to life.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't even know.
I don't know. I watched a YouTube video, and the swordsman was basically saying like no one would ever fight like Geralt.
Yeah.
But then at the end, he's just like, well, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it's like
of course,
it actually
it's
looks
like-
pretty sick.
Well, dude, it's like fucking Batman in the Arkham games. It's like, dude,
Sure.
nobody would ever fight like this.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I keep
but
trying
it's
to
awesome.
think. What do you remember the fight style that they did in the Nolan films?
What do you mean?
They came
Like
up
what
with
it
some-
looked like?
No, well, it was like a specific fighting style that was like super close quarters.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, I
just
see.
blanking on the name.
Oh,
But
I don't
that
know.
would be kind of a cool like. If they ever do like another Arkham game, do
Yeah.
something where like there are so many guys ganging up on Batman,
Yeah.
that the camera like swoops in,
Oh, yeah.
and then you have to do like either like a quick time event, or you have to do this thing where you're like very very close quarters, just dismantling everybody. I think that'd be sick.
There's
If they-
nothing
if they
better
could
than
do
quick
that.
time events.
Quick time events are terrible.
Yeah.
That's
going to be in my
as
worst
far as like the
mechanics,
worst
yeah.
mechanics, yeah.
I hate quick time events.
But
They're so
there are a
stupid.
couple that do it right.
I would do the thing where you swirl the sticks on the controller. Try to get out of the mosh pit.
As the worst,
No.
okay.
That would be the mechanic I would use in that situation you were describing, where you're like surrounded by a bunch of guys. You gotta.
it just
Remember
it
doing
just
that?
keeps smacking them. Yeah, no, it breaks your controller. I remember it.
Yeah, absolutely, but it was fun.
Oh man,
It's like a lot
that's
of
the
effort.
first thing I turn on if there's like an accessibility feature in a game where instead of mashing something, you just press and hold it.
Oh my God,
goodness, that
you
gets pushed.
cheater, dude.
I don't care.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so congratulations, Geralt. I think you
Geralt
snuck it
Is
a little bit, but if orcs come for you,
dude, the
you're
orcs are
dead.
pretty nasty, bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can you like? I mean, yeah, we can leave it at that.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
don't beat an orc army.
No.
I don't care how
Yeah, I
many
guess-
witchers you have.
Yeah, I think Geralt obviously wins,
Mm-hmm.
but according to the audience, but I think it'd be closer than the results, because I believe it was like 14-7, all things considered.
Yeah, I think it depends on how many of his potions work and how many of his signs work.
Right.
And if none of that is helping him out, well, you're tough. Like you're toast. I don't know.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Anyway,
I think they have to. Like you said, you have to merge the universes.
yeah. But then I feel like if you merge the universes, like Talion's power is like diminished. Because I
Right.
think part of it is like there was just nothing stopping Celebrimbor, right? So if you merge
Does
it,
the
now
ring
suddenly
only
he's-
work on orcs? What if he just fucking grabs Geralt's face and converts
Good
him?
question. I think isn't it? Didn't they say it was like weak minded or something like
That's
that?
true,
I
yeah.
feel like
Geralt's
Geralt's
pretty
maybe
strong-willed.
not, maybe not. So
Jedi mind trick might not work
yeah.
on him. Yeah. So congratulations, Geralt of Rivia. Apparently, he's not even from Rivia.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't remember. I haven't played those games in so long. It's been years.
every time I watch Henry Cavill, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I really need to play those games.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, you played them, right?
no, I mean, sure.
The third
Yeah.
one, at least.
Yeah, I got to like the entire beginning is like, you seen Yennefer?
Oh yeah.
I need elderberries and lilacs, blah, 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 blah. And then finally I meet her, and she's like, hey, sup? And it's like, I've been searching everywhere for you. And she's like, yeah, okay. Like, okay, well, I'm done. Like, I guess I found you, and you just don't care. You cold.
I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Those games are, I don't know. They're really good, obviously. It was like really strange though. It's like the only game I can think of where everyone jumps in on the third one. Like really
Yeah.
strange. Like
Yeah.
it blew up on the third game of the series.
People keep like saying like, oh, they need to remaster 1 and 2. And it's like, really? Like, you would rather remaster 1 and 2 than not, and like, I guess not even remaster, but like remake 1 and 2
Yeah.
versus Witcher 4. Like, that's silly.
Well, I don't know. That's always the debate, right? Because it's like we know what we have on 1 and 2
Yeah.
in whatever you're talking about. So we already know what we have. So it's like we like that story. We just want to see it better. I don't know.
I guess, but like, I don't know. I want to see something new.
I guess. I don't know. Nostalgia's a hell of a drug, man.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think. I'm sure different people. So that's the other half of the coin is people that liked those games are like, no, we're good. Like this is our game. We liked it before The Witcher was cool. You stay away. You know what I mean?
In that specific example, yeah, you're absolutely right. All these people coming in
let
here,
them have their thing,
which is stupid. Like, wouldn't you want it to be more popular? I don't know. Really?
Because
so you're one of those people who are like, oh, this is mine.
Yeah, like
That's so gross.
If I it is like I fully admit that.
At least you understand.
But it's like if I liked something before everyone else liked it, then I don't know. It's this ownership feel of like just like, oh well, you know, it's like, okay, so we talk about our friend Jeff who did like bonsais and stuff.
Yeah.
Like deep down, it's just like, oh guys, look at this bonsai. And Jeff's a nice guy, and he was super excited when we all were like, we're going to just randomly do bonsai trees. I don't know.
That's so funny, by the way.
Deep down, though, it's got to be like, yeah, no, this was my idea. Like, this is my thing. Like, I don't know.
No, I totally understand that. I feel like everyone feels that way to a certain extent, but then you realize, like, this is stupid. I should be enjoying the new people that are coming into this.
If you're mature and
undamaged.
So, okay, take Sea of Thieves, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those, like...
Well, you guys have been wanting me to play.
No. So I'm looking at it more from, like, if, you know, my nephew's playing, right? Or something.
Oh, okay,
and, like,
gotcha.
His friends are playing. And for them to... That would be like and I'm not saying they do this, but it would be like the equivalent of, like, his friends are just like, hey, this is what you have to do do good in the game or something. And meanwhile, I'm just like this old, decrepit, like, pirate that's just like, I'm going to kick you out of the playing.
Okay, I think you're talking about two different things here.
Kind of.
Because if someone's just coming in and being like, oh, man, I love Sea of Thieves, like,
yeah,
you know.
Okay, well, what about, the Game of Thrones TV show, right? And I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but like you have the Game of Thrones TV show, people are flocking to the TV show.
Right.
And then you think about all the people that read the books.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, no, we know it's so crazy. Like we already know what's going to happen. We read the books, and like they take this ownership of like, I'm a higher class citizen.
Dude,
because,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But it's like manga readers for anime.
Yeah.
It's like,
exactly.
oh, dude, this anime is so good. They're like, just wait, man. You even do. It's like
Walking Dead.
Great,
all of
you
that
read
stuff.
ahead. Like,
and maybe that's slightly different, but it's just this ownership of this material where you're like, well, I discovered it first.
It's stupid, dude. Like, who cares?
It's more mine than yours type of feel.
Well, I understand like feeling that way, but like you said, when someone comes in and they act like they're an expert and they're new, absolutely be like,
you were right. I was a little bit different on
But if they're just like,
yeah.
oh, I just love this stuff, because what I see happen all the time is like, I don't know, like League's a great example. Like someone new will come in and be like, oh, this is so much fun, and then you just have the old heads be like, dude, but you're shit. You're not doing this right.
Yeah.
Just shit on them. It's like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you, man? They're trying to just enjoy a game.
I guess there's a little bit of a difference there. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Unless someone's being a dick, I'm gonna welcome them into the community.
Yeah, but you're a mature and nice individual. I feel like
I pretend to be.
There.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. For when the mics are on, I'm gonna say I'm very virtuous and
it's very understanding, very welcoming in the league.
Look how good I am.
Yep. That's why you have so many burner accounts. You just need to flame people just randomly.
Exactly.
I feel like if you play League of Legends, that's part of it. And actually, we're about to get to that, I think. But I think you need that little hit of like, no, I need to be super toxic to people, but I can't do it on my main account. So it's like you have
here's
kind of
the thing. I know what I'm doing. Like, so I'm in ranked, okay?
Yeah.
So if I'm in ranked, it's kind of like you're like in the mafia. You know what I mean?
And they're
like,
you're in the game.
You're in the game and you're not in the game. Exactly. That's what it is. If you're playing ranked, you're in the game. You are signing up to get flamed. You're signing up because there's LP on the line.
Yeah.
But if you're in the normal game, like, I can't stand people who flame in normal games. Like, who the fuck cares? Yeah. This doesn't mean anything in the infinite cosmos.
Wow, in the infinite cosmos.
You're going to say nothing means anything, but LP does mean something.
That's the one thing.
It will be there. It'll say gold 3 forever.
What does LP stand for? Loss prevention? League points?
League points, I
League
guess.
points.
I actually didn't know.
League percentage?
I think
loss
it's
percentage?
league points, right?
What
points.
is it?
It's a point value.
So it just always goes up, never goes down?
It can go down when you lose.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
level.
You have to get to 100, and then you go to the next rank. So like gold 3 to gold 2 when you get to 100, and blah 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 blah. Keep going. So you're the best in the world. Like
okay.
I don't know.
Sounds like you really, really, really like that game, John.
Yes. Our other Twitter poll.
Okay. Okay, you going with me?
We did another Twitter poll. I had a really shitty day at work, so Tyler came in clutch for me here. I actually had a really good
clutch. Half clutch. It was. Oh right, this is another video game one. So we doubled up. On
no,
the
that's okay. We like video games, like I told you. So all right, so this one was really good. It was a Would You Rather, which I was going to ask you about this too. Another tangent.
Okay,
I apologize to the audience, but more apologizing to
the intro part,
to the timestamper himself because I always fuck him up. All right, so I thought the fight thing was pretty good. And this is something we should totally talk about, not on the air, but I don't care. I'm already here. So it's like, I think a cool segment would be like Friday Night Fights, where we have a different matchup every week.
Or Fisticuffs.
Fisticuffs Friday, that's right. That's what you were saying. Well, I think that's so
cool. It
cool.
Be whatever, it's stupid. But.
Also, Would You Rather Wednesday would be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
I think good implementations. And that way there would be like a Twitter poll every day of the week.
The Would You Rather was very, very tough just due to character count limits and...
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I didn't say, would you rather, and then you have to pick one. It was like, I would rather ... and then like finish the sentence.
I think if you establish it as a series, you can do Would You Rather Wednesday, and then you can just do the two options. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, so for the matchup ones, for the Fisticuff Fridays, it would be interesting if, I don't know which one would be better, but it'd be interesting if the winner stays and then you kind of have a new challenger every week. But eventually you have to like retire that person because
there's just no more people to
you
fight.
Like get to Kratos and it's like, okay, well, no one's gonna fucking beat this guy. Like you throw Superman in there.
I think that's a great one. And I told you, like, one of my buddies was doing that with like policemen. Or it's like RoboCop beats Carl Winslow.
Oh,
or
yeah,
Carl
yeah,
Winslow
yeah.
beats whoever, John McCain or whatever.
Right.
Which was really funny.
Right.
And then the other idea was like pulling out that super fight game where we just like pull out the different cards and start arguing. So we got some ideas. We'll figure it
So
out.
Tyler was telling me about this super fight card game, which like it's so funny. You can probably explain it better than I can.
Yeah, you pick a person. Right. And it could be like many things. So it could be like, oh, here's a Girl Scout versus a boy band.
Right.
And you argue your case on who would win in a fight.
Yep.
I guess we'll say to the death. We'll make it high stakes.
Stakes are high.
But then you draw another card of like, oh, the Girl Scout has like a machine gun or something. And like the boy bands haven't slept in like a week or
pluses
something.
And minuses. Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
No, I think that's cool. So stay tuned.
Yeah. That might be like a cool guest segment or something.
I think that's a fun one. All right. So anyways, our second poll of the week was Would You Rather? And it was for the rest of your life, would you rather play only your favorite game or only mediocre games? There was also clarification in the comments that it's mediocre to your standards.
Yeah.
So not necessarily societal standards.
And so here's the thing. I would say to your heart, like, because I know Calvin brought up League of Legends. That's why I was mentioning the League of Legends thing. He's like, I don't know if it's my favorite game or like just a mediocre game. I think like in your heart of hearts, if you're playing this game for 1,000 hours plus or whatever he's
you
at,
thoroughly enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Like not enjoy the game, but it's... You think of it as more than mediocre, at least.
Yeah, well, like that's the thing. It's like the spirit of the question was, would you rather have one game that you can only play, but you know that like you love this game, like regardless of like mediocre or whatever, like you absolutely love this game. This is your favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
Whether you consciously know what that game is or not, this is it. And then the other one is you will never play another masterpiece again.
Right.
So clearly this question was made by a person who hates video games.
Yeah, this is rough.
But I thought it was an interesting thing. It's like, would you want to play your favorite game into the ground where you eventually will get sick of your favorite game, if that's possible?
Right.
Or would you like crave the variety? Because here's the thing, and this is the other thing that I thought of whenever Calvin posted that question. It's so like, let's say you are playing mediocre games. So let's say it's like 5, 6, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And you're playing it, and you're just like, oh, this isn't great. You go through 5 years.
Yeah.
Eventually, when you really think about it, your perception of what a mediocre game is going to change. So now those 5s suddenly turn into 10s, because if you can only play the lower half of the spectrum,
right,
you're going to start shifting. So in my mind, it's like, oh, those 5s that you thought were mediocre, but suddenly you're like, well, this sucks, but this is the best I can play.
Right.
Guess what? Suddenly that becomes unplayable because you're enjoying it and you think it's higher than a mediocre game.
Yeah. It's all about perspective.
Yeah. So like eventually you're just going to be playing like
masterpieces. According to
well,
yourself.
no. What I'm saying is eventually you're going to be playing like, I don't know, free to play, like the worst of the worst games until you just quit. At the end of the day, I just want everyone to stop playing video games. Go outside.
Yeah, that is.
I don't know. Video games are terrible.
Jeez. A lot to unpack there. Anyways, this one was tied. So.
Yeah, which I thought was actually
tough,
super interesting.
Yeah, it's a tough question to answer. Like,
what about you? What do you?
I don't know, dude. Like, I'm trying to think of like what my favorite game of all time is, because if it's like a single player game, that would suck.
Well, no, I mean, so League of Legends, you could argue, is like.
Yeah, I could play if it's League. I could play just League for the rest of my life.
Well, that's what I mean.
Be fine.
So like you're good. For me,
because a game in League is different every time,
right?
And you can always get better, this and that. So it has to be that. But it would suck.
But for me, like I don't know what I could do at that point.
Yeah.
Because eventually,
what about like Diablo?
Well, that was my first thought, but like Diablo's on its way out, man. Like that's the sad part about it is like League is this like ever evolving thing.
Yeah.
Where with Diablo 3 eventually will stop getting support. Like they've already kind of reset. Like they're just like recycling seasons and different things like that. They're doing some stuff which is cool, but like eventually Diablo is going to be gone.
Right.
And then what do?
You give up. I guess.
Exactly. So like and the thing is it has to be your favorite game at the point of the question. So in my mind it's like, well, I don't know, like maybe Star Citizen will eventually come out or something like that. But like you can't say that. Like you can't pick that. Like what do you do? Like Civ? And that works for X amount of time until eventually like it's just kaput. Like the only thing that could screw you up is if like League of Legends 2 comes out or something and everyone just abandons the first game and then you're stuck with nothing.
Rough.
Right.
That'd be very rough.
I don't think that would happen. And that's like the whole like games as a service type mentality.
So you would choose mediocre games?
I think me personally, I would have to, because I don't think I like a game. Like I don't have that favorite game where I'm like, I could play this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And not in the back of my mind be like, this is going to become obsolete within 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's a rough one.
Yeah. And then like, I don't know. Like I think the variety would be
variety is
something.
important for sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure I'd get so burned out. I mean, anyone would. Dude, you're playing the same game.
Yep.
But a lot of people do just play League, pretty much.
But think about it, where you can go one of two ways. One is you become a master at that game.
Well, that would be my goal. It'd be like, I need to get to,
yeah.
Like, I have no other choice.
Yep. I thought about that. It's like, what if I just sat down in front of Elden Ring and was like, I'm not doing another game until I beat this game. Like, do I have do I have the willpower to do that?
No, you don't.
If I didn't have any other game, maybe. Like if it was like, this is it. You play this or nothing.
I actually was thinking about this the other day on one of my drives. And I was like, dude, what if I started a series where I dedicate a year of my life to some craft?
Yeah.
And I just try to get as good as I can at that one thing. That would be wild. Like imagine having the dedication to like my 25th year on Earth. I am going to learn this.
Yeah.
Like chess. I don't know. Just
all the ins and outs. You
snowboarding.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
That's like every day. Like that's all. Like to absolutely consume. Like to do like this power absorption.
Yeah.
Of just like every YouTube video is just.
That's what I'm saying.
Topic.
Like if I was like a good YouTuber or a YouTuber or like I knew how to do that.
Oh, I meant consumption, but yeah, you're talking like actually like
making it. Yeah, making a channel, titling it something. I don't know, something clever about a year or something. I don't know, and then putting up update videos, maybe like weekly. So you'd have like 52 videos in a year, and it's like this week. All right, this is week 1 of John's chess year.
Dude,
I'm really fucking bad. I'm rated like 600. Like I just like the progress would be so interesting. And like, does anyone, I'm sure someone does, but
Yeah.
to have just the dedication to be like, we're grinding this out. Like I am just a year.
Take it a step further. And what if you put your faith in me to choose
Oh my God.
what you did. And then I take it a step further and I make a poll about it. So on my thing, just off the top of my head, it's like, all right, pole dancing.
Oh my God, dude! I'd give up. I can't.
Why? How could you give up?
I'm the worst dancer there is.
But it's pole dancing.
It doesn't matter.
You don't have to dance. You just I mean, look, this is not me because I think
that would be
I
really
think people that can dance, like strippers are insane.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't do it.
I just saw a video on TikTok where it was like, hey, here's year one or like day one of me on like this pole, and this lady lost like, I don't know, like looked like at least 100 pounds, and she went from like sliding down like a fireman to like, I don't know how she's like spinning around on this thing. You could do it. I guess what I'm saying is I have the faith that you could do it.
I would not want to do it.
I just think it would be hilarious if it was like, all right, the audience will decide.
Oh, the audience would fuck me too.
Oh, absolutely. Well, so I have some like gatekeeping on that where I'll give like maybe like Twitter. So it'd be like 4 options.
You know what I would pick for you?
What?
Cooking. Yeah.
Oh, I would get super into cooking.
I know.
Yeah.
I think it'd be so awesome. And I think you could
give me a
really
nice
good.
one and I would get like this.
Yeah.
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 So here's the thing with cooking, I feel like I could do well. Like, because for me, I would be like, all right, like tonight I'm learning how to just cut things.
Yeah.
Like super fast, you know, like
right.
just actually like really, really good.
Sure.
Because I remember going back to like McDonald's and stuff. Eventually you just get in this, you're just like flinging things. Like it's insane. But what I would, one thing above cooking would be baking, because for me and just my weird mind, I feel like baking is perfect. Like you have to be exact with that stuff, you know?
That's why my mom's really likes baking, because she's a chemist. Very overlapping, right?
Yeah.
So I would choose cooking for you. That's like the first thing that comes to my head. I just want to see you. I think you're creative.
Just get
and
really
I think you have really good attention to detail. Like you would not be okay with anything but the best, which I think obviously the best cooks have that like high, super high standard, which is really good. But so like in my theoretical experiment here, it would be like you quit your job, you start a YouTube channel, you fucking like, obviously it's not going to happen, but it's like 40 hours a week. Like you better be working on cooking 8 hours a day, reading a book, practicing, whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's your job now.
Just buy like 20,000 cartons of eggs.
Yeah.
And you just practice cracking it.
Exactly.
One hand.
Like obviously money's no issue. Like this would be like, I win the lottery. This would be like a cool thing to do or something.
Dude, I
think people would be interested in watching that. That would be like really dope.
I always clean up like immediately too. So that's the problem I have is like if I'm cooking, I hate messes and like, so while I'm cooking, I'm also like rinsing dishes and cleaning up and stuff because I don't want to have this massive mess at the end.
Right.
It'd be interesting.
So I get pole dancing, you get cooking.
Well, I feel bad now. I'll think of something.
Pole dancing would be an amazing challenge because I don't want to do it. Yeah. And I would be horrible at it.
But I feel like you would of
course I get better.
Is like you would overcome it, and then just to be like, because you got to think of these weird things where it's just like, oh yeah, no, like I can pole dance, and you just like think about like that party where like someone has a pole for whatever reason, and like people like spin around on it and they're just like joking about it and stuff, and then you come out, and you just tear that up. Oh my goodness!
What point is that?
Or like playing the guitar or doing whatever. It's just
really
like,
bad at the guitar too.
But that's the thing. Is like
it'd be cool.
It'd be a fun.
Well, there's like people that do this, where they're like, oh, I'm gonna learn a skill, and they see like how long it takes. Like I'm gonna learn how to do a kickflip or something. It's like a pretty common one, or Rubik's cube. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's like, no, I'm not gonna learn how to do it. I'm gonna see how good I can get at this for a year. Yeah. Like you're devoting a significant amount of time to just try, not perfecting, but getting as close as possible to like.
Right.
It would be really interesting. Like something like chess too. I don't think I would make that much progress. I'd make a lot of progress personally, but it's not like I would be a grandmaster or anything.
I wonder what the switch is, because my buddy Kevin his like started going down this thing of like Blender and doing like animations and sculpting and different things. And he's just like, what a just like a dedication and a focus, and like that's inspirational.
Yeah.
And it's just like I need to find something there, which is where bonsai trees come in, where it's like, all right, maybe this is good. Dude, bonsai trees are the perfect thing of just like, all right, what do I have to do with this? Oh, throw these seeds in water and just leave it for 3 days. Cool. And then just like next step, plant it, done. Wait a year. Okay. Just like, yeah, done. Like easy.
Yeah.
That's what I need, is that long term.
I could never do the bonsai thing. Like Jeff was talking about it. I was like, this is not my hobby. But I respect you guys for doing that.
We went hard for...
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, that'll be cool though when that comes in. Dude, what if your thing was like investing? You have to spend a year.
Oh my gosh, and just like playing the stock market.
You'd have a heart attack.
Yeah,
that would be awful.
Or take it pull it back a little bit and just be like, all right, what if it's just get really into like fantasy football or something like that? So like I could actually like just rattle off stats and names and different things and like keep up with.
Well, with that, you could do like daily fantasy, which. Like, there are professional daily fantasy players.
No.
And they are disgusting. Like, they're so good. But, I don't know. I went down that rabbit hole, man.
Nope.
Like, I'm not going to get there. But it would be interesting. What if it was like learning about the universe? Like, theoretical physics is Tyler's year-long commitment. I think you'd go crazy.
Yeah.
I think you would go crazy.
Yep.
Like at the end of the year, you have to write like a thesis on something. I don't even know.
It's like, this is what I think of the universe. I'm sure I do some like artistic, like much. I'm just gonna put like a dot.
Gardening would be a good one. That'd be cool.
Gardening would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I feel like gardening though, I would do. Like I would want to grow like food and stuff, which then gives back to, because like really, if I'm getting super into the cooking, like
I think cooking is like that's the thing.
It branches off into so many different aspects.
Yeah, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Anyways, I got way off track there. I thought that was an interesting thought experiment.
I don't know what I'm going to do with the timestamps, but that was
John's thought experiment of
the
week.
That's good.
That would be wild. Can you imagine having the balls just quit your job?
I mean, I dreamt about it last week. I don't know. I
am going to be a cook.
I was looking at another computer.
Were you really?
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
Corsair Game 1 i300. That's like
that small one.
$5,000. Yeah.
That's so.
But here's the thing, and this is what I was telling Chelsea. It's
justification time.
As I was trying. Well, it's like on sale right now. I think it's like $1,000 off. So that's a big deal.
Oh, 4K though?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I would pull the trigger on that.
And I could sell my graphics card and do whatever. But like this is like, like if you buy a gaming PC, it's like 16 gigs of DDR4 RAM, right? Like that's just like standard.
Yep.
Cool. This thing has 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM. So like when I'm talking about like future-proofing stuff, like that's it. The only thing that gives me pause is the 3080 Ti. It's still a fantastic card.
Right.
But it's going to, like, a new one's going to be out within a year, 2 years, whatever, stuff like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, but you're never going to get a computer if that's how you view it.
Right. I mean,
like I got my 3080 and then the 3080 Ti came out months later and I was like,
it's like a 12-core processor. Like it's all water cooled.
Yeah. That's awesome though.
And it's all it's a tiny little like trash can looking thing.
That's amazing to me. That it's that small.
Yep.
That's
the
wild.
only thing I would do to it, because like I was watching some reviews and stuff, and it was like, hey, maybe swap out the fan.
Yeah, that's what they were saying about my Alienware too. They come with like pretty shitty fans.
It's not
shitty,
so much
but small.
They throttle them and they don't, because they're looking at it like, oh, this has to be quiet. It's like, yes, but like I have headphones on, and if I just make it a little bit noisier, it drops my temperature by like 10 or 15 degrees.
Alienware does that too, where they throttle the fan speed like 30 to 40.
Yeah,
it's so bizarre. It's the same exact thing, and it's already gets pretty loud, but I don't care. I'd much rather my machine be
generally
cool.
speaking. Yeah, like I mean, and to be honest though, a lot of the games I play, like they never revs up the fans to begin with.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
Anyways,
What's going on? What else we got on the docket?
so I've been trying to complete my list of games I need to play. Currently playing Shadow of War, making good progress on that.
Yep.
But Vampire Survivors was my
Force that down your throat. Yeah.
game. So I don't know if I talked about this before, but essentially what I'm doing is I have like a big game I'm playing and then like a side game I'm playing as like a break from the big game.
Yeah.
So 2 games at a time. So Vampire Survivor was my side game, which is I guess it's in early access right now on technically.
Yeah, it's a web game that then they brought out on Steam. I think the Steam version has a little bit more features and is getting updated more than the web game.
Right.
But yeah, it's in early access currently.
So I did buy it on Steam because it was like $2 or something.
Yeah.
Like $3. And it's pretty much just like how would you classify it? It's not a side scroller, but it's like
I would say it's a reverse bullet hell. That's what I've heard getting thrown around.
Sure.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
But you're the bullet generator. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, so these hordes of like creatures come at you and you upgrade your stuff. Tyler actually has a really good video explaining all this on our YouTube, so check that out. Yeah. Where his frames just
it's terrible visual quality.
The first half of it's very good though. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, you kind of like upgrade your character and you get all these XP points and just continue to get stronger until you can't see anything on the screen and everything's just dying in one shot.
It's one of those games where it's a 30-minute run and it's a very concise 30 minutes. So the whole point of the game is to have you go through this level and you stay alive for 30 minutes. That's your entire goal.
Is there not a concise 30 minutes?
Well, so like it's not like, oh, these runs can take up to 30 minutes. So like if you play like Dead Cells, it's like, oh, your first run's going to take you like a half hour, but it can continue on. What I'm saying is like this level, as soon as the timer hits 30 minutes,
done.
Death comes, kills you, your run's done.
Can you beat death?
I don't think you can, at least not right now, dude.
Damn.
Like I got to like 33 minutes. I think.
Wow.
And that was purely because I had like there was like a freeze ray. You have freezing death.
Yeah.
But the thing is, death is not a singular thing. So I would freeze them and then just run.
Yeah.
And then there's like 2 more that come at you.
Oh my God.
So by the end of it was like 5 different like Grim Reapers trying to kill you.
Wow.
Anyway.
That's wild.
But you have 12 spots. You can pick up 12 items. And these can be weapons or they can be like supplemental things. So it's like, oh, I can shoot faster, I can have more projectiles, things like that. But the whole point is you're not shooting yourself. It's literally like you just have the left joystick and you're just moving stuff. Like you're just moving through essentially a maze of enemies as you're trying to kill them, pick up experience, and just level your guy up.
Yeah,
and
so essentially like depending on what items you have, so like knives, for example, you throw them and whatever way you're facing is where they throw.
Right.
Whereas like the wand just does the closest enemy, I think. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
So depending on the weapon, it's like how it's going to shoot. Like the whip's horizontal, and so you kind of have to position yourself accordingly to hit everything. But by the end of the game, you're like shooting out fireballs and
it's like a freaking rave with like disco lights and stuff. Like I don't know. Like it was interesting because they did. The first 2 levels, so it's just like the first level was just this like grass area, and you played it after the update. So like all the little ponds and the little like gravestones and all the little different none of that was in there.
Oh, really?
Like
so it's just
maybe a month ago, right? Like it was just grass. So that was kind of cool
too because you can get caught on them.
Yeah,
die. Hate this.
So we played that. So like we had the grasslands. There was like a library that was a little bit more horizontal.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit easier to kind of funnel people.
Right.
They had this like laboratory thing, which was bizarre. But that's the 3rd stage. So once you beat the 2nd stage, you go to the 3rd stage, and there's like little hidden things where you can like unlock a vampire character and stuff, and you have to do these little like events.
Yeah.
And then there's a like kind of free for all mode where it's still that grass stage, but like the enemies are randomized, so you never know kind of what you're gonna get. Cool. And I think it's every minute or every 2 minutes it changes.
Wow,
it's kind of neat.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna rate this game.
Yeah,
because I feel like
where do you see it? Given that it's early so I guess my first question is: are we going to rate an early access game?
I would assume so.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear about that to everyone. Where it's like, oh, how can you rate an early access game? So maybe it's like a provisional thing where it's like currently this is what we're giving it.
Oh,
once it comes out, maybe we can talk again. But
Yeah, but is this going to be one of those games where it's always early access?
It might be. Who knows? I mean, like, but it's the thing where like just
it seems like a complete game to me. I mean, I came in a little bit later than you, obviously, so there's more features and everything. But
it's a very fun.
There's enough there.
One more run type of thing. Yeah.
So, anyways, exactly, it's a game you can just pick up and play if you have 30 minutes, and you can always every run's going to be different depending on what you pick up, and there's a lot of characters and upgrades that you can get. So you can like upgrade outside of the game. Like permanent upgrades, right?
Yeah,
so
like more damage, more projectile stuff.
Exactly.
Like that.
So there's like enough there. Now the thing that I always think about is like the value. Like this game's like $3, right? So it's like the amount of value you're getting out of $3 is pretty good.
I think my time's like 30 hours.
Yeah, I already have like 5 hours in it or something, and it's like. I feel pretty good about it. It's a lot of fun. It just feels so good when you're late game and you're super powerful, just destroying everything. And I really like the mechanic of you get like the correct combination of items and then you get like a super item, which is really cool and a big component of the game. So that's always like super, super awesome. So yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
So am I. How good are you feeling about it?
I hate going first because I always say a number that you're like, oh, really? And I'm like, oh, fuck, now I feel like an idiot.
So personally,
I'm thinking high 80s.
Yeah, so am I.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because, like, what is the game trying to do? It's just trying to be like a pick up, play, fun.
Yep. No story. No dialogue. Like, because we talked about it, and it's just like, all right, if a game attempts something.
Yes.
And they do a poor job at it.
Right.
Then they should be graded on that.
Absolutely.
But however, if they're like, no, there's no story. You're just it's literally like it's old school arcade games. Like I could see this game being in like a diner where you sit down. It's like the top down things, like your Pac-Man machines, your Dig Dugs, your
I
whatever.
view this game as like fucking classic Flash game.
Yeah.
Like it's like recess and we're just playing Vampire Survivors. Like Tyler was saying, if this game came out when we were kids, dude, this would be like such a go-to.
Like graphically, it probably could have. I mean, granted, the number of enemies on the screen and stuff might
burn
our old computers, but like I think
it's not. It knows exactly what it is,
right?
You know what I mean?
And I think there's something to that, and they keep updating it. They added a whole new level. They added some new weapons. Like they're like, I wouldn't say like game changing because like at the end of the day, you're still just trying to beat it, but like. It's some fun stuff where you're like, all right, for this run, I'm going to try this type of build. I just want to be as fast as possible. Let's see how this goes. You know, that could be really cool.
A lot of experimentation, and it's just fun. It's just a fun game.
Yeah. I mean, 100% it. 56 achievements, all unlocked.
That's awesome.
Ready for the next thing.
I'm thinking like 88.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you with me on that?
I was ready to give you like an 85 or something because I was like, I don't know if this is like John's thing.
Dude, like I said, if a game sets out to do something and they do it extremely well, like how else are you supposed to grade it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not trying to be God of War. It can't.
Right.
But you need these games.
Yep.
You can't just have blockbuster games. And those aren't necessarily always just the best games. Like
the more I play, the more it's like you get like because especially when you're talking about things like God of War or like Elden Ring or like these big things where it's like even Pokemon is like, all right, well, let's give you a 40-minute introduction to like, here's the tutorial, here's all this stuff. This game doesn't hold your hand. It's just like, figure it out. I don't know. And you just
literally no tutorial. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just you jump in immediately. It's like, pick your guy, pick your stage, go. And that level of just like, jump in, do it. Okay, one more. Okay, one more. Okay, one more.
Yep.
Like,
start learning things. You start figuring out what items you like, what kind of play style you like. Like I figured out really quickly that I hate the first character, and then I unlocked the second character. I was like, oh, I love her. Like she's so good.
And then eventually you get to the point where you might hate the first character initially, right?
Yeah,
because he's challenging.
Yeah.
But when you start looking at the stats, and it's just like.
He's pretty good.
And I don't remember what his stats are because I don't typically use them.
He gets more damage per 5 levels or something.
Yeah, but then like that, like who knows? Because he might be more viable later on. Because it's in early access, like they could tweak him. They could add another level that's specifically like he's really, really good at.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm taking 88, dude.
I'll give it 88.
I think that's a solid score.
I'm very excited for that. So that's is that the first game we played in 2022? right? That
Is
came
it?
out in 2022,
Oh.
or at least that we both played, I should say.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's pretty wild. But look, $3, you should pick it up and play it.
There's literally no reason not to.
Yeah.
And even if you don't want to spend money, it's like online.
I'm sure it's like $1.50.
it's a
Well, so, to
web-based
be fair,
game.
I didn't play the online version, so I don't know what state that's in.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you want to see what it's like,
Sure.
I mean, yeah, try it out.
Speaking of games we played this year, Tyler,
Yeah.
you were pretty excited about a specific one.
So Elden Ring, terrible game. Okay.
Jesus.
So Elden Ring is
And there goes our last viewer.
Elden Ring is dominating the games world currently, right?
Yeah.
But on Friday, a game called Tunic came out, and this game is like, hey, do you like Zelda? And there was another one. I wish I remember the name. It might come to me later. Where it's this type of game. It's top down. It's does not hold your hand whatsoever, but it looks very cutesy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on the face of it, it's like, oh, this is like a little kiddie version of Zelda. But very quickly you start to realize like, oh no, these guys played Souls games. So you have your bonfires that reset all the enemies and heal you. You have your health flasks. You have that enemy health bar that pops up whenever it's like a boss.
Yeah.
You have to like chisel the boss away.
Right.
And it doesn't tell you anything. And there's no like intro, so to speak. Like you wake up on like the beauty of this game is you launch this game. It takes like 2 seconds to launch. You hit continue or new game or whatever. And your cute little fox wakes up on a beach with just nothing. You can dive. And then eventually you find a stick and you beat people with the stick. And then you realize, oh, I can't like do anything with like there are mushrooms blocking your path.
Yeah.
And eventually you find a sword. And now suddenly you can cut down all the mushrooms and everything.
Right.
And it's this progression of technically you can get to the first boss without ever finding the sword, I believe. So at that point, it's like, you can find these little hidden paths if you explore enough and just circumvent everything, which is it's a weird thing. The best thing about this game so far, and I'm trying not to like spoil things, so that's why I'm talking slow and trying to the best thing about this game so far is you find these little like white gems or crystals throughout the land, and you pick it up, and none of it's in English, by the way. So like a little dialogue box might pop up,
Yeah.
and it's just some weird script with like a question mark, and you have to pick like yes or no. You always pick yes because you want to pick it up,
Yeah.
and you learn this, but it gives you a page of like an old school like Nintendo instruction manual.
Okay.
And they're random page, like not random pages, but like it's a specific page. So if you go to this area, you will always pick up like page 12 of this book, and eventually, it will like it's the instruction manual to the game. So that's how you learn how to play the game. So instead of like a tutorial, it's like using like arrows and little things of like, oh hey, here's a list of all of the items you can get in the game.
Right.
And it's just gibberish, but then you might see like it just says like HP. And you're like, okay, so I know this does something to my health to pick it up.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing it justice explaining it. It's a wild way of
Like the collectibles are the tutorial / hints.
It's like you're like going through the
guide.
manual trying to piece together like what the heck am I supposed to do. So for instance, and again, spoilers, so maybe fast forward like 20 seconds if you don't want this, but I got these coins and I'm just like, what do I do with these coins? What do I do with these coins? Like 2 hours later, I get a page in my book that's like, oh, hey, throw them in a well and you get something. And it just blows your mind because you're just like, oh, of course.
Can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. So you don't have to unlock anything.
Yeah.
It's just if you know it going into it,
That's perfect.
you can do it.
Yeah.
That's
That's awesome. So it rewards you for finding the pages, obviously, but
Sure.
also just trying things.
Absolutely.
Like, oh, hey, wells. Like,
Everything's
coins and wells.
technically
Yeah.
unlocked. Now,
Yeah.
granted, there are some gated things where it's like, okay, you can't go up this path because mushrooms are blocking it, and you have to have a sword to break the mushrooms to then get through
Yeah,
it.
but I'm saying, like, you don't have to find the page.
Right.
Which is
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, so if I did like a new game,
Yeah.
I would know all that stuff. Or
Right.
if you started playing, I could give you like a hint, like, oh, hey, maybe check behind that little. Another awesome thing, which you know I love, every freaking waterfall something's there.
Yeah.
Either it's a shortcut, or there's a chest behind there, or a collectible or something.
Is that in your best game mechanics?
I don't know if it's a mechanic, but it's something that, like, if I were to ever make a video game, like it has to have that stuff in it.
Tropes.
Yeah. It's so good.
Your favorite game trope?
There are plenty of times where I'll go past like an area like 5 or 6 times, right? Just because, like, again, it's a tough game. So like, you have to dodge and parry, and it's all the Elden Ring,
mechanics,
Souls, BS type of thing. And it's if you get caught with your pants down, you get boned, and then you have to go all the way back. It's not as brutally punishing, where it's not like you lose all your gold.
Yeah.
You lose like 20 or something.
Okay.
But like then your spirit stays there, and you have to go back and get it and stuff.
Gotcha.
You know, it is what it is.
Yep.
But I've just been having such a blast with it. And like, even in times when I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not powerful enough, or I can't do this like area. And I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go over here because I haven't been here in a while. And then just something clicks, and you're just like, oh, I found a new page in my manual that's like, oh, did you ever maybe try this? And you do it, and it like completely unlocks a whole new area, and you just go in there for like an hour as you're exploring and stuff like that. It's just such a well-crafted, clever way of going about doing that. And it's so cool. It's definitely on. I already put it on like the list of games where I'm like, okay, you have to play this at some point this year, just to see if you connect with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome. I think the couple of things where it's like, it does have a parry mechanic, but you have to be like, you swing your sword or you swing your shield.
Yeah.
So like, if there's an enemy swinging at you, you have to time it with the enemy to block it. That's way tougher than just, you know how like games are like, oh, block at the last second and you parry automatically.
Yeah.
This one doesn't do that. You actually have to like time it.
Oh, wow.
So it's a little challenging
right.
in that regard, but it's so good.
Seems like a unique kind of experience.
Yeah, it's like Zelda meets Souls meets. There was blanking on it, but there was another game that was like this, where it doesn't tell you anything. It's just like little runes and stuff, and you just eventually kind of pick it up.
Yeah,
I'll think of it eventually.
Yeah, that is an interesting kind of concept where it just throws you in. You're like, there you are. And
I legitimately like before you leave today, like I want you to see the aesthetic of it.
Do you like the visuals are good and
it's great. The lighting's fantastic. The environments, like you have your overworld, which is pretty samey, but like each area you go into is pretty different. The cool thing is like whenever you pick up a page on a manual, like sometimes there'll be like handwritten notes. So it'll say like you'll see like a little circle, and then eventually you learn like, oh, a little like in this particular thing, every like little squiggly line is like a trap. And every circle is like a chest and stuff like that.
So there's patterns. And,
it's so cool because it telegraphs a lot of that stuff. It's just you don't notice it or you don't understand it. Like I've gone through plenty of areas like a million times, like I was saying, but then you go through like this little like cave or something, and then you pop out on the other side and you're like, I had no idea that was a door there.
Right.
But then you have to memorize it because it's not going to be like, oh, there's a door here and like an arrow or anything. Right. So it's just like, oh, I know if I go behind this waterfall and just press right for 3 seconds, eventually you'll make it to the other side.
Yeah.
You got to either write that down or keep that in the back of your mind. Like it's so neat.
Dang, dude. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. And it's just super cutesy. It's super good lighting and everything. Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder where that's going to go to. Like, you're just going to learn more and more about it. And I wonder if there's like some sort of...
I think the overarching thing, because again, like the story is very, you're a fox. At the very beginning, it's like, it seems like your mother's trapped in a void. And it's like, I got to free my mom.
Okay.
And that's it.
It seems pretty standard.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like, I don't know, there's more to that, or if it's literally just about the
I'm excited. I don't know. It's
getting there.
It's not so much puzzles. I have yet to see a lot of like, oh, pick up this. Like, you can't really pick anything up. At least I can't yet.
Right.
But it's not like, oh, move this like box to this to unlock a new thing. It's very, I don't know, like, I don't even know the best way of saying it. Like, kill all the enemies and then like try to find your new route or something.
Yeah.
It's just, it's.
I do have to see it. I got to see how it plays.
I just want you to see the manual and how it's done. It might.
That's your favorite mechanic, like your favorite part of the game?
Honestly, kind of.
Yeah.
I love the game. Don't get me wrong. The gameplay is very, very good.
Of course.
But like that was such a cool thing that makes me want to like name another game where you're like, oh, I want to read the instruction manual. Right?
Yeah.
Or like the help tips or anything.
Right.
Like it's
That's
such
a very
clever way.
of,
it's so good.
I
bet you other games will steal that for sure.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen a game do that before. Like
Yeah.
a collectible. I'm sure there probably might be, but
Yeah. And like collectible is even a strong word because it's not like it's like, oh, you have 1 out of 6 or something like that.
yeah, it's true.
But you get a bunch of items that you don't know what to do, very Souls-like, right?
Yeah.
And eventually you'll find a page that kind of hints to what it is. I just unlocked magic, like 4 hours in, 5 hours in or something, where I have like a magic wand now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you like that. The best part of the game is that it's on Xbox Game Pass.
It is on Xbox Game Pass. I think
or PC Game Pass, sorry.
I forget well, it's on both for sure.
Well, isn't it? Yeah.
I think they originally said that it wasn't going to be on there. And they're
Oh,
like,
really?
oh, no, this is not going to be on Xbox Game Pass. And then there's a meme going around where like you just see Microsoft. It's like a stock image of somebody like lifting a suitcase full of like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, it's on Game Pass.
All right, it's on Game Pass. That's so funny. It wasn't Microsoft Studios that made it or
No,
anything, right? Yeah, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. Very passionate.
Sorry going on a tangent
No,
there, but it was. I'm very few games I wake up thinking about it, and this morning I was like,
I just kind of want to play this game.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to immediately jump into this.
It's awesome.
Because I'm always sitting in front of my computer like, there's just so many games, nothing, like, it's like so many channels, like there's nothing to watch, nothing to play, whatever. And this one is like, nope, I'm playing this.
Dude, we're so spoiled. I always think about when I was a little kid, it was like, all right, am I playing Spyro the Dragon today or going outside? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I miss those days. Like we cherished our games. It's like we did not have a lot. And you like have to buy the disc and like
it's valid.
But it's blessing and a curse, right? We can buy everything at the touch of a button, and we can have all the games we ever want. And we're adults now, so we can afford them. We can buy them ourselves. But now it's like we're more apathetic towards them than. Like, imagine if you were a kid, you had all these games. You'd be like, "Oh my god, it's the best thing ever." I don't know. It's really strange. It's a very, very strange. I guess the grass is always greener.
I wonder if there's like the parents out there who are kind of in that same mindset where it's like, okay, we have Game Pass, but like you have to beat this game before I unlock the parental controls for you to buy another or like download another game.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, show me that you played this. And like, because like,
what parent wants the kid to play more games?
Well, not more games, but it's like, it's this mentality of like start what you finish or like finish what you start. So it's like, go through it and, oh, this is hard. And this is 100% me where it's like, oh, Elden Ring, it's too hard. And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to play a different game. Now, granted, I'm very much enjoying this one. It just clicked with me. But too many times do I die in something and I'm just like, oh, I died. And then I play something else.
Right.
Rather than like have this constant like, all right, no, I'm going to rack my brain and kind of push
Well,
through.
yeah, when we were young and like, it's like, okay, well, I can't get past this boss. So it's either I try harder or I don't play this at all because I don't have very many games, right?
Right.
So I don't know. There's like something about that for sure.
There's something to be said for it feeling better. And like even just like one last thing with Tunic where it's like, oh, hey, I died maybe 3 or 4 times here and it took me forever to get to that point because it's like you have to go through like the mountain pass and go through the quarry and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, come on. Like, why do I have to go all the way through this? And then eventually it's like, oh, because I didn't learn something previously and I'm technically a little bit farther than where I should be. But now that I learned this other thing, it makes like I can just jump straight to here. So it's like this, it's unlocked. You can do it. You can beat your head against something if you want to.
Yeah.
But if you're having like a really, really tough time, it's like chances are you miss something and now go back and try to search for it.
Yeah, backtracking is always like brutal for me. I hate it. But in a certain light, like you're talking about, it's interesting. It's like, well, technically you just missed something.
This game, I was talking to you about exploration. I love the exploration in this.
Right.
The other thing that I was thinking of was something like a Hollow Knight where the backtracking and like Hollow Knight, I found myself just not knowing what to do for like an hour and a half, and that's frustrating.
Oh yeah.
This game, it's like, what am I missing? But that's maybe a half hour, and there's always something else you can do. And even to an extent, Elden Ring, where it's like, oh, I'm getting my butt kicked here. Like, I'm just going to go somewhere else and grind. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I hate grinding too.
Well, when I say grind, I mean, it's like, I'm just going to explore a different area and level up that way.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Ooh.
Anyway, yeah, that's Tunic. Tunic's very good.
Tunic is amazing. I've never played it.
I will show it to you.
I'm excited to see it. Yeah. I'm always excited to see passionate Tyler.
Out. I mean, I hope it sticks the landing, stays strong. Like I think the reviews are pretty favorable overall. But when we talk about a game like, hey, here's everything the game's trying to do.
Yeah, I'm
like, this is very like everything that it's trying to do so far. I think it's done masterfully.
Really well. Wow. Hey man.
Like.
Is it an indie game or is it like a?
Yeah. I would have to look at the like how big the studio is. Whatever constitutes an indie game.
Yeah, I don't know what classifies.
Production wise, man, it's like it's really nice. Visually. I would say it's on par with something like a Zelda or something like that. Like the lighting and the style is excellent.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. What do we have next on the docket today, Tyler?
I don't know. The top 5. Is that
top 5?
Is that where we're at? Let's just talk about the top 5.
Yeah. So
this is going to be a fun one in this dreary, rainy day.
On a dreary, rainy day. So Tyler and I were talking. We actually created like a list of top 5s we want to do.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this one the other day. So we did a top 5. It was like our second one ever, where we did the best sidekick, and this was across any medium.
Yep.
So it could be games, movies, TV shows, books, paintings.
Yeah.
Short stories, long stories,
dreams.
And I had a lot of fun with that one because there's something interesting about comparing characters that normally like aren't related.
They have
at all.
No business being
right.
Compared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think there's something fun about that. Now, I never wanted it to be like too much. Like every one of our lists is like everything. I think there's definitely a place for like, okay, this is just video game characters or just whatever, right? Separating it out. But it's been a while, and I wanted to do another big list with anything I can think of. So this one is going to be top 5 tragic characters.
Fictional. Tragic, fictional
characters.
Yeah.
But it could be from anything.
Yeah.
Now, I think we were out to dinner, and Fox and the Hound was on, and Nathan was explaining to me, like, how shitty this movie is. Not shitty as in poor quality, but like shitty as in like it's fucked up.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I wonder who's like the most tragic. Because in Fox and the Hound, I've never seen Fox and the Hound, by the way. But
Neither
apparently like they grow up and they're friends, and then he gets kicked out, the fox, and then the hound like hunts him down later because they grow up and he's like a bloodhound. Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
I kept taking glances at the screen, and like there are foxes in a little like burrow. And then they like throw fire in there, and kinda, like smoke them. I'm like, what is this movie? I
was like, oh my god, man, that's crazy. Yeah. So I was like, man, I wonder who the most tragic character is. So we are going to attempt to create the Couch Company's top 5 tragic. We're not going to get everyone. Like this, full disclosure, it's going to be things that like only we've seen. So if something we haven't seen, it's not going to make the list. So if you don't hear your character, I apologize. Like there's just so many. Like I mean, this is like an infinite list. Like there could be anything,
and
right?
It's all perspective, point of view, it's type stuff
it's
too.
Totally opinion based. So that's what it is.
We aren't doing tragic heroes, so I know that was something that was brought up where it's like there are a lot of rules, like you were saying, on like what constitutes a tragic character and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, really, when we boil it down, it's just like, do we feel bad for this character?
Yeah.
And is it something where it's just like, it's like a personality flaw, or something where it's just like they can't catch a break and it's just...
Yeah.
Are we saying it always ends poorly for them, or like at the end?
I don't know. I think it's a pretty loose term where it's like it's really shitty situation and you feel bad for them. That's kind of the extent of what I'm at. Because a lot of these, it's like, they might redeem themselves or something. I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure, as always, while we configure the list, we kind of learn on the go.
Yeah, we kind of evolve it. I mean, it's one of those things, like we said, it was fictional right on the outset. Like any true story or any true person that is going through something horrible, obviously is way more tragic than anything fictional. We just didn't want to go down that
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
that
we wanted
line
to
of like
keep it fictional.
yeah.
So
yeah.
nothing based on true.
Yep.
Just
So
kinda,
in no way are we saying that. I mean, to start it off, like Anakin Skywalker is more of a tragic person than like
someone who went through horrible things in real
right,
life.
like World War II stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
definitely.
Okay.
Although, is anything from Saving Private Ryan on your list?
No.
Okay.
No. That's still I consider that real.
Based on real. Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
I do have some movie stuff though. It's not based. We'll get there. All right. Whatever.
We'll get
Anakin Skywalker, right off the bat.
I feel like he's pretty tragic.
Yeah, so he's the chosen one. I feel like the chosen one syndrome's always pretty tragic because the amount of pressure that you have being like, hey, you were born. Congratulations. You're supposed to save us all.
Yep.
Like, what?
Yeah.
I'm 9. Or however old he was. So, yeah, that's pretty rough. His mom dies to the sand people.
Then he murders
All the sand people.
women, children, dudes.
Yeah.
Like he goes pretty dark.
Yeah, so he's basically used as a tool.
Yep.
And because he's the most powerful or whatever, and then he like slaughters all these people, and then he's got to like live with that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty rough. And then obviously he's got to fight his best friend / father figure, kind of.
Yeah, he thinks his love of his life died. Like just so much.
Oh yeah, and
wrong.
then the Emperor's like, yeah, I can save her.
Right.
And he's like, fuck. He's got a pretty rough go of it.
I think the cartoon is the thing that sorry, hold on. I don't know why I'm trying to
This is
have more
now
coffee, baby.
3
Thank you.
No
so
thanks.
much.
This is 3 episodes in a row now that
Where
Chelsea is
is-
handing
yeah.
someone a drink.
I was trying to be like sly about it and talk about it, and then just like kind of like, but then I felt like a jerk being like,
Chelsea!
"Yo, give me more coffee." All right, so I think including like the Clone Wars. So I know it's
Yeah.
like 2 different, like one's a movie,
it's
one's
a
TV show, but it's still the
depiction
same character.
of him. Yeah.
In like books and things like that, because like
Right.
in my mind, I'm still incorporating all of the Darth Vader that I have in like the extended universe of books
Yeah,
and things.
yeah.
I think it's pretty tragic guy. Overall.
Yeah, it's pretty
Even
rough.
if redeemed in the end, it's still.
He's got to live with
He's
that
literally
shit.
murdering kids,
Yeah.
multiple occasions, different sets of kids. Like, can we think about that for a second? Because it really didn't dawn on me until just now. Where it's like you're murdering Tusken Raider kids, you're murdering Jedi kids. Like
Yeah.
you're
They
bad
blew up
dude.
a planet.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's
I
true
did.
too.
I don't know. That's really rough.
Yeah. It's kind of a dick when
He
you really
is
think about it.
kind
Yeah.
of a dick.
All right. Well,
Would you put on the maybes though?
we'll put it. Yeah, sure. We'll put it
Put
on.
on the
maybe.
maybes. All right. Was that your first one or was that my first one?
I'll take credit for that. Go
All
ahead.
right. Clementine from The Walking Dead.
Clementine from The Walking Dead. I wish I finished that game.
Oh my god, are you serious?
Yeah, because I know everyone's always so.
All right, so at least in the first part, I never played. I know there's like a lot of parts, but the first one, like you play as Lee, I think his name is.
Yeah.
The black guy.
Yep.
And he's pretty tragic too. But I think it's worse for her because like I'm pretty sure like her babysitter turned into a zombie and then she was like running away and then Lee like runs into her.
Yeah.
Takes care of her, and all the shit that happens throughout that game. The people you meet, they
Right.
die. Everyone's turning. But she always has this one guy who's just looking out for her, the only person who can trust. And then you get to the end of the game, and you either have to shoot him in the face or watch him turn into a zombie.
Yep.
The fuck?
I mean,
Everyone you know is dead.
right.
Everyone you care about's gone.
Yep.
And now you found this one bright spot in this horrish hellscape. And now you have to like just like literally kill them or watch them become inhuman.
Right.
And you're scarred. And you're like fucking 8, by the
So,
way.
so do you think? So not that we can't have multiple, like zombie-esque
Yeah.
things, but like, so if you're taking her, you're taking someone like Ellie from Last
yeah.
of Us.
I think Joel's more tragic because
Sure.
Joel like loses his daughter, obviously.
Yeah.
And then gets another daughter. And then they're like trying to sacrifice her. And he's like, I'm not losing 2 daughters. Like, fuck you.
Yeah.
But then he himself has to live with the fact that he doomed
murder
humanity
everyone. Yeah.
pretty much.
That's a good one.
That's rough.
So him. I don't know if you watch the TV show of The Walking Dead, but like you have like Carl, who a lot of people are saying is like super tragic because he is like. I think, spoilers, I guess, for The Walking Dead. I never saw the end of it, but like it's like, and I think he even dies at the end. He's still a kid. Like obviously you see him grow up. That was kind of like the point, but like, his mom gets killed. Father, it's just like he just keeps seeing all this death, and it's just like, I feel like the zombie apocalypse is going to be a prime
for tragic events.
I would pick Joel over Clementine. I would personally
pick Joel too. The fact that humanity is involved,
and
it's like
I think that's cool. Not cool, but it's a twist. It's bigger. Like that's a lot to put on a
Clementine made me more sad for sure.
In the moment, yeah,
absolutely, because it's like she's she's literally a child,
right?
She blows this guy's head off.
I mean, you could put both on. And just
I think you're right. I think Joel is fucked up. That's pretty rough, dude. When your daughter dies in the first like 3 minutes of the game, it's like you're in store for a rough time.
Talk about so that was something where Troy Baker like overacted. So whenever and he said he was like, I hate when people like not when people give him notes, but he was like, I was crying and sobbing and being like, oh, my daughter is dead and everything, and they kept telling him like, hey, pull it back, it's not hitting. And he was getting like frustrated, and then he did a take which obviously was in the game, where he was just super quiet, super subdued, but obviously like heart wrenching and stuff. He was like holding her, but like it wasn't like he was like sobbing and overacting. And it was like I remember that being very, very impactful. Yeah. Like what an insane opening. That might be one of my favorite openings. Like I'm not huge on the game, the full game in itself, but like opening wise,
powerful.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like it's tough to. This is completely off track, but it's tough to do an opening like that because like we don't know these characters at all. And how many times have you seen like a early death and you're like, well, I don't fucking know.
Or a kid, right? Like that's the thing is like kids don't die, right?
Yes,
like that's the main thing.
That's big.
And to set the tone of the entire game like that, like
we're not fucking around.
Yeah.
So that's rough. You're up.
All right, we talked about this off air briefly.
Yeah.
What do we think about Eeyore?
So we were talking about this a little bit. Eeyore, I understand where you're coming from.
To catch people up. So my argument for Eeyore was the fact that your life, you have no responsibilities. It's always just the sunshiny day. I mean, I guess technically it rains and stuff like that. If your biggest concern is heffalumps and woozles, which we found out are not the worst thing in the world anyway. But like every single person like loves you. Yeah. They're friendly to you. You have Christopher Robin. You have like it's just like you live in what you would consider a woodsy paradise.
Yep.
And you're still just depressed as hell.
Can't shake it.
And you just sit there and you're sad and
Imagine
you're solemn.
Permanently having a tail stuck in you.
Yeah, like your tail keeps falling off, and maybe you're just like, oh my gosh, finally relief, and then somebody comes in and just like smashes it back in you.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying to help. It's not malicious, but still.
Eeyore's pretty rough case, dude. I love Eeyore. He's adorable. But you just want to give that guy a hug. I'm down.
But it's good, like, hey, just because you have privilege or you're what could you possibly be upset about?
Like nobody dies.
Everything, yeah,
that we know of.
Well, yeah.
But
so the gritty reboot of Christopher Robin.
He's just depressed.
It's just
plagued by an illness.
Yep.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's tragic.
Let's put it on the maybes,
All
man.
right,
I'm down. That's a good. That's a good one. Eeyore, man, that's so good. All right, so I'm still on my video games. Have you ever played Heavy Rain?
Yeah.
So Ethan Mars.
It's pretty tragic.
His kid dies.
Yeah.
His wife blames him.
Yeah.
Leaves him. He loses his house. He loses his job. His other son kind of resents him too. Mm-hmm. So the little custody that he gets on the weekends or every other weekend or something, his kid comes over and is like, doesn't talk to him, not interested, kind of blames his dad that his little brother is fucking dead.
Yeah.
That's already bad. And then his only other son gets kidnapped by a psychopath child murderer.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Does Ethan dies at the end?
He can.
He can. Okay, I think he died.
There's a lot of endings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tragic. I could put on the.
I feel bad for that guy.
What's his last name again? Ethan
Mars.
Yeah. I remember that being like that style of game just necessarily wasn't for me.
Oh, really?
But
Gotcha.
I remember the story being pretty like.
I really liked those games because Detroit 2 Human was.
Yeah, they're doing like a Star Wars one now and stuff. Yeah.
I actually really like those kind of games, but because the story's always pretty good and it's pretty simple mechanics, and
yeah,
I'm a big sucker for like the choice thing. Like there's so many webs and things. All right.
Yeah. So you were saying I had to bring the Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah.
Support.
I haven't seen Game of Thrones. So
yeah,
it's up
Game
to
of
you.
Thrones. So I know you mentioned Ned Stark. It's
The research department
fine.
threw in that. I'll read the description.
Yeah, go ahead for it.
Because he really wanted me to give it justice here. So, all right, Ned Stark lost his father, sister, and brother in Robert's rebellion. Adopted father was poisoned, which caused King Robert to bring him and his family to King's Landing. It's probably spoilers.
I mean, that's
Where his
season 1.
eldest
Yeah.
daughter was used as a bargaining chip and promised to marry a sadistic psychopath. He himself was killed trying to get to the bottom of his adopted father's death. His wife and eldest son were killed in the war that followed his death. His youngest daughter went missing and is now trained to be an assassin.
So my only thing with that is he wasn't alive for a lot of that.
That's true.
So as far as tragic goes, like, yeah, like his story was tragic,
Yeah.
but when you're looking at something like his wife, where
It's not really it counts because he's already dead.
like he's dead,
Well,
but
I guess
she
it's-
witnessed that. She witnessed.
Oh, you're saying his wife's worse.
Yeah, I'm saying his wife to me is
Yeah,
worse.
that's pretty rough.
So Catelyn Stark, where like the famous Red Wedding, where
Yep.
she's literally just watching her entire like her kids just get murdered.
Hey, I'm going to leave this to you. I haven't seen it, so I don't
Yeah.
have an attachment to it. It sounds fucking horrific.
Well, it's the same
but-
thing. Like if you look at the tragedy of like Sansa, where she is married to a psychopath and has to fake being loyal to a psychopath, changing her attitude. Like she kind of is like the entire
Game of Thrones is pretty
Game of
bad,
Thrones
yeah.
is tragic.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
to an extent, even Jaime's tragic.
Right.
Where like you kind of like him at the end, but he's such a terrible human being.
Yep.
And then Arya, who also is tragic because like she's just a little kid, right? So like
Yep.
there are a lot of tragic people in there.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned,
It's going to be up to you. Like, if you feel strongly about someone from the Game of Thrones universe,
I would have to think on it. I would
Okay.
probably say, given man, I just really don't like Sansa. I think she's very tragic. I just don't like her.
Taylor thinks she deserves it.
I'll put her on the maybe list because I think out of everyone,
Yeah.
like she was kind of going through like maybe not so much physical stuff, but just emotional, mental, just absolute like abuse and
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
I get how she had to change her personality and change her character and try to be this like, oh no, I'm super loyal type of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't. To be fair, I also haven't seen Game of Thrones since it ended.
Right.
Like we kind of binged it, but I'll put her on
I
the
gotcha.
list. We'll see. I don't know how far she makes it, but
All right.
Ned is
Ned.
he's. Yeah.
Did you bring that up or me? I mean, that's the research department, technically.
I brought it up technically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Neville Longbottom.
Most overrated Harry Potter character and
Dude,
the
his
world.
parents got tortured
Chelsea's
to the
flicking
point.
me off right
yeah,
now.
I know. Parents gets tortured to the point where, like, because a lot of these is like, oh, Harry's parents are dead. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Imagine if your parents are still alive. You get to go visit them, and they're just fucking insane.
Can we
they-
see that in the movies?
No.
Oh, okay. That's
in
why I'm like,
books.
this does not sound.
Yeah, there's a scene in the books where he goes to visit them every so often, and they're just in an asylum.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So it's
they
not
can't.
even like
They drooling all over themselves because they were tortured to the point of insanity.
who was torturing them.
Voldemort. Or no, it was Lestrange.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the kind of stuff that maybe I would actually start.
Yeah.
Like
so
Harry Potter
in the
has some-
fourth one, when they're talking about the 3 unforgivable curses. This is in the movie. So he's like, the Cruciatus curse is like the torturing one because it's pain. That's why he goes up to Neville for it. He's like, because he's very familiar with that one.
Right.
That's what happened to his parents.
Yikes.
Yeah. That's fucked up.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
It's actually pretty interesting. I was like watching a video or something where he's technically could be considered the chosen one because he fits all the characteristics of the prophecy. But I guess it's because
doesn't have a 6 scar.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I thought that was
doesn't
interesting.
have round glasses.
He technically kills the last. I'm nerding out really hard, but he technically kills the last Horcrux because the last Horcrux is the snake, and he kills it with the sword of Gryffindor because he's the one who pulls it out of the hat at the end.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was?
Because he's like Gryffindor's, I don't know, champion, I guess, or something.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know if it's the same in the book. I think it is.
I don't know why.
But in the movie,
like
he definitely kills the snake. No, it's him.
Emma Watson.
Neville's very important in the books, and they do not do him justice in the movies. I'm telling you.
Well, all right.
Well,
I mean, all right. Like,
I think it's bad. I don't know. You don't have to. I know you don't like him. You said he sucks.
I like. No, I'm just kidding. I did that because Chelsea was in the room. I like him.
I think out of anyone in Harry Potter,
Stark. I don't know.
I think out of anyone in Harry Potter,
is.
he's the most tragic.
Over Harry Potter, you think?
Yes.
Really?
Probably not.
Like, I mean, I'm not a huge like Harry Potter, like specifically Harry fan, but at the same time, it's like
how many times have we seen everyone just hate him?
Your parents die, you are just abused by
everyone,
the people, and then like
it gets to the point where even Hermione and Ron are like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah,
are you the heir of Slytherin? And it's like, no, you fuck.
Yeah,
they just all, and it's like several times,
or just being like gaslit, or being like, no, I know this is a problem. Like, listen to me. And
nobody listens to him.
Yeah, like that's
pretty rough.
Yeah, it's.
I think just, dude, the fact that his parents are alive. He's got to look at that every day. Remind him of the horrors they go through and they continue to go through, and that's awful.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
But is it as it's
pretty
bad?
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put both on there because I think we keep talking about that, but.
All right, you're up, pal.
All right, let's talk about. So I'm just a shout out to Doctor Who because I know you never saw it.
Yeah, I never saw it.
I think that's a pretty tragic character.
Hey, if you feel very strongly about someone,
I'll keep.
Dude, I didn't even know it was the same person. That's wild.
Yeah, I'll keep it on the maybe list. But like when you think about like he like nukes his planet, right?
Bad,
and it's a timey-wimey thing, but you're basically obliterating your people to then kill like your enemies, and there's this like conflict, and like you kind of know how you die, so like throughout your life it's such a weird thing because you do this time travel thing where if you look at past episodes, depending on what Doctor's in it, you view the episode completely differently. They do some really, really cool stuff with it.
Yeah.
But then you have this thing where it's like, you know, kind of where you're going to die. So like, as it comes closer and closer, you're just like, okay, well, like it's your impending, like you just see your impending doom. Yeah. Like while you're trying to save people, but it's such a weird like thing. I like, because you haven't seen it, I'm not going to necessarily fight for it. I just wanted to throw it out there as like, he that has to be pretty tragic because of just so much weight on your shoulders.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're trying to save everyone.
Yeah.
In the universe, right? Like you're zipping around doing different things.
Yeah.
It's
overwhelming.
He always seems like he's having fun, but then like towards like a Peter Capaldi thing, like he's pretty like
fucked up.
Yeah. It's such a weird, and like the fact is like you think about it, he has 13 like regenerations, right?
Yeah.
But imagine, so it's like, it's not like you just become younger again, right? You become essentially a different person. So you have all your memories and you knew like who you are and different things like that, but your personality changes, your looks change, how people treat you change. And it's just like, you're effectively dying, but you're not dying.
Yeah.
That's gotta be a weird, hard to come to terms with.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
a good one.
Yeah.
Based on how you describe it. Like I said, dude, even if, as long as one of us has seen it, It's the passion. It's the Cheerios.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it on the maybes list because
I think
the more I think about it, the more
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's got to be in a discussion. But
Yeah, no, I appreciate that one. Man, so many. Okay, I'm gonna stick with video games here. Now I'm not 100% sure. So originally, I had Morden from Mass Effect.
okay,
Because he helped generate the genophage, and
yeah,
even as Solarians are supposed to be completely logical, like intellectual, right? Like we had to do this, blah blah blah. And even he was like, "Dude, I don't know." Like by the third game, he's like, "This, I wiped out like what the fuck."
yeah,
But Samira is pretty bad too, because all of her daughters are like demons that fucking murder everyone,
right.
And she has to trap them on, and like that's pretty fucked too.
I mean, Thane's
pretty bad too,
yeah.
though, right? Like, oh man, I don't know who's the worst out of all of them. It's all pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if I had to pick one, like I wasn't even thinking about, like I immediately go to Thane, but Morden, I guess you're right. He does start. I don't know why I always thought Morden was just like, nope, it had to be done.
He was,
Yeah,
originally,
but then maybe just
in
three.
three, he was like, dude, because I
sacrifices
feel like,
himself.
I mean, you have Krogan on the ship at that point.
yeah,
Shepard obviously has this natural inclination of like showing people other perspectives.
Right.
Like it's the whole point of the game. It's like a melting pot of aliens and experiences and everything. And you go to the factory on what's it called in the second game, where they're creating Krogan clones and like coming up with a cure, but it's like really fucked up and disgusting.
I mean, at that point, like Grunt can be very like that's a tragic.
I think Rex
story
is more
too,
tragic.
Yeah,
Because Rex is like pretty old.
Yeah.
So he goes through that and he's like, when you first meet him, he's like, we're fucked. Like, I don't give a shit about my people. They don't help themselves. Like, I don't know. He's a lot of tragedy in that universe.
Turns out.
But for Morden, I don't know. Like, he literally stopped the production of.
I mean, hey, I'll put Morden on the list.
I don't know if he's top 5, but because he like redeems himself in the end. I mean, depending on what you do.
Yeah.
Typically. But I'm pretty sure almost everyone. That'd be pretty fucked up if he didn't. I don't know. That must weigh on the conscience a little bit.
I mean, clear, yeah, like and enough to like where you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna sacrifice myself and work.
Because his mission in 2 is like his personal mission is like his assistant went rogue and is like experimenting on all these Krogan, like this horrifying research, but they're volunteering because they want to be able to reproduce. You know what I mean? Like that's
messed up.
The genophage is a crazy wrinkle. Yeah. I don't know, dude. Like, it is very fucked up.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do you do? Like, you have a race that's so powerful that if they get out of control,
that's sick.
I
mean, good
like,
on like name like what other game? Not that it's tackling anything because it's a made up thing, but it's like a concept.
It's a moral.
Yeah, it's just like
quandary.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have the whole history of it is the Rachni invasion.
Mm-hmm.
So we're fucked. Look at all these like we're crazy strong dudes. So we're gonna give them all this technology.
Yeah.
So that they can help us fight. Oh wait, now they're like killing us.
Now they're worse than the Rachni.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do? I don't know. Whatever. It's glad I don't have to make those decisions.
One of the best games ever made.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we'll put Morden on the list.
Yeah.
What about just keeping the theme of video games? And what about Kratos?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we just got to put him on.
Family dies.
He kills.
He kills his family in a rage. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I played like the original ones.
I could be wrong. Does he kill his family twice?
Yeah. Well, no. His family dies twice. I don't think he kills them the second time, but he starts a new family and then they die. Like, he's on his third family.
Yeah.
But the most fucked up thing about that is he kills his family because he asks, what's his face for strength? Ares.
Mm-hmm.
And then He gets it, kills everyone.
Yeah.
And then he gets covered in their ashes.
Yeah.
So he's permanently walking around with his dead family's ashes like on him as a reminder.
Yep.
And then he just gets fucked. It's every game. The gods fuck him over.
Yep.
The Titans fuck him over. The gods fuck him over again. He's got to kill his dad. He's got to kill his brother. He's got to.
Yep.
It's
It just
so
murders
fucked up.
everything.
It's just. He literally murders the entire universe and then has to leave and go to another one.
Yep.
Just to start another family. His wife dies again. And then he gets wrapped up in all the. Oh my God.
And then to end the newest game where it's like he has like the entire game is like, all right, I guess I'm going to go bury my. Well, not bury, but like he burns his wife and takes your ashes up to the mountain or whatever.
Yep.
And then at the end is like, oh, I guess my son's going to kill me. Like,
Yeah.
okay. Like yeah, it's pretty. It's a tragic.
He's
tragic thing.
fucked.
Yeah.
This is the Greek dude. They're good at tragedy. I guess. It's my go.
Yeah.
What about Isaac Clarke? Dead Space.
Yeah. Remind me why he would be tragic.
I think his father dies.
Okay.
His mom is like obsessed with like her research or something, and like, so he grows up really rough. Minus the fact that he's on this space station full of the horrors of the universe.
So, not that this is like necessarily a stipulation, but like, what flaw of his is like? Because like everyone we've already talked about has obviously some sort of flaw.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Except maybe like a Neville and Harry, which is why I keep going back and forth on like.
Harry has flaws.
Yeah,
His ego's fucked.
no, that's actually
They portray it better in the books too. Like,
well. See, yeah,
he's
I'm
pretty
stuck with
You're stuck with
the movies.
movies are pretty good though. Yeah, I guess for me it's like his circumstances. Like, this is horrible, man. But I saw him on one of the lists.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's pretty bad. I don't envy him his situation.
So, would you say Isaac Clarke is more tragic than like Master Chief? Like Master Chief has to be
No.
more tragic, right?
I do have Master Chief on your.
Oh,
team.
do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about Master Chief again.
Yeah, like Isaac. Like I'll give you like if you're
I'm not.
on a spaceship by
I was
yourself
listing
with a bunch
names.
of-
Yeah. Isolation, horrific circumstances always gets me. But if we're talking about like Master Chief,
who is more or less isolated, but like
well, he's kidnapped as a kid,
yeah,
made into a super soldier, which is already like tragic trope.
yep,
Like, and this is a big thing for me. It's like when you're so strong and you have the responsibility to like save everyone,
right,
like he's the savior of humanity,
yeah,
and he like fails a lot, and a lot of people die. And his best friend in the world, who's an AI, because
Yep.
he literally cannot relate to humans at all. That his closest relationship in the entire universe is a computer program.
yep.
Just fucking
And then he makes
wild.
a bad decision with her. So
Yeah.
then yeah,
She goes crazy,
yeah,
wipes out the universe almost.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's
man?
pretty tragic.
It's rough. Like, he has like no humanity in him.
Yeah, I think they try to explore that in Infinite. But it rings hollow.
Yeah,
like it's just like
he's
yeah,
always
all
like
right.
mission first. I don't know anything else.
Yeah, even when he's trying to connect with someone, it's like, yeah,
I didn't like
I make
that.
mistakes. Like try to just stand up, and I'm like, it doesn't. Yeah,
it doesn't
wasn't
feel
hitting
good
me.
at all. Yeah, I like.
I don't know.
He's like, I don't know how you feel. Like that would have been more
right,
powerful.
yeah,
It's
he's
like,
I don't understand it.
I
but-
don't understand. Yeah.
But we got to go.
I didn't like that guy very much. Anyways,
Yeah,
Master Chief's pretty good.
yeah. I know we're like there's just so many.
How do you feel about Dom Santiago?
Dom's pretty good. I
think Marcus
personally,
is worse?
I think Marcus is more tragic.
Dude, the whole thing
but-
with his wife.
with his wife.
Oh my
is-
god.
Yeah, I feel like we don't. I know that was kind of like a one note thing for Dom. Like he's like, I gotta find my wife, and like, okay, but at the same time, like when you look at Marcus's father and mother and Dom, and he's just
Yeah.
constantly seeing, like he's around longer.
Yeah.
Look
And
at
his
his son.
yeah,
Like you can literally, he could lose his son.
Yep.
Like that's to me that's
Marcus
way
has
more
been
tragic.
through
than-
it.
Yeah.
That's a bad universe to be
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
That's a
I
rough
would
one.
put Marcus on the list before Dom.
All right, we
personally.
can do Marcus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Jesse Pinkman?
Yeah, Jesse Pinkman's fucked.
All right, we'll put him on.
I mean, he just gets used by everyone. he just every time he finds love, she dies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's just very
unlucky.
Yeah. He's
like a
not
good
great.
person too, like deep down. And he's just in this life that's like
again, his own choices. Like it's not
No, of course he has many flaws.
Yeah.
But one of the greatest ones being how naive he is.
Right.
And you just happen to be with like one of the smartest, most chaotic people ever to live.
Right.
And then on the other side, like he just gets you, like that's the thing. And then not even like at the end of the show, he's like a slave prisoner cooking meth all day in a sewer grate.
Yeah.
For like a year or something, or months or something.
A long time, yeah.
Like, because there was like a fast forward, and that's like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Wow.
He's on my list. Like the
scene where Walt tells him like he let what's her face die.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
just like hey, what?
Just break,
emotional, man. Just getting stomped. Just
Yeah.
curb stomped.
I have a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Gollum.
Yeah, Gollum's very good. Actually, I'm surprised I didn't have him on here.
Gollum is rough.
Greed. Greed's a big thing, and then he just goes insane.
Yeah, kills his friend.
Yep.
Just absolutely loses all sense of humanity, quote unquote.
Yeah.
He's a hobbit, but
just becomes enslaved
just
to a
a monster.
ring and
He's a
loves
monster.
something, and just is
all
so
the way to
tied
the end.
it. Yeah,
literally
burns alive
is
in
so
lava.
addicted.
Yeah.
That he will kill himself to hold the ring for a split second. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
your last meal is a hobbit finger.
Oh, yeah. That's also true. He's so disgusting.
Batman?
I think Wolverine's more tragic.
Really?
Yes.
Just because he lived longer? Saw more
He's like
shit?
immortal.
Yeah.
Like all the people, like, I don't know. I don't really get super into the comics, but like Logan the movie was more tragic than any of the Batmans.
Well, when I'm talking Batman, I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, you have your parents. I get that.
Yep.
But like when you think about all the Robins he goes through when like Dick Grayson is like, hey, screw you, I'm leaving. And like maybe they patch it up, it's still like, I'm gone. Can't marry your love of your life because you're too worried about it. The other Robin literally gets bludgeoned to death by the Joker.
True.
Joker is just murdering hundreds of thousands of people because you can't, like, Boy Scout troops. Like, just like literally murdering kids, women, children.
Yeah, I mean,
or men, women, children.
Wolverine goes through the same shit, except he just outlives everyone.
Yeah, I think the difference is like Batman is trying to stay on this moral like compass where it's just like he could have prevented stuff.
See, I think if we're going down that route, Superman's more tragic.
I think Superman's tragic.
First of all, his home planet blows up, so he's estranged to this entire world. But when he finally gets like the two best people ever to take care of him, his dad has a heart attack.
Yeah,
and this goes back to my kind of thing about like I have all this power and I can't stop nature.
But you're still like you can hear it all. You hear people constantly like
you hear the world. Like imagine that.
Yeah,
like
you have to shut it off. And
you have to pick who
I'm
you can
ignoring
save.
you.
Yeah,
like I'm ignoring you right now.
Because Batman's just a guy.
Right.
He's the best guy ever.
Yeah.
But Superman has so much more ability to save, and he has to prioritize, and he has to hold back. And even like think about this, the struggle of his morality where like Superman could wipe out the earth if he got frustrated and like I don't know, like an injustice situation,
but
right?
I guess how much of that is tragic versus like with Batman. I feel like Batman is more personal than Superman. Like, yeah, Superman is actively like has to ignore people to have a life with Lois or just live or whatever or like do his job. Like,
yeah.
But with Batman, the way I view it is people close to him, which is very few. Like, he doesn't let a lot of people in his inner circle, but like the people that get close die. And the fact that he is not willing to like put down the Joker that just murders everything. Like he just murders everyone.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more of a relationship there where like Superman will like stop people. I guess maybe with like a Lex Luthor thing, but Lex Luthor doesn't really like. He kills people, but he doesn't like.
But what
he's
about
not
like
Joker?
Fucking Darkseid, just enslaves planets.
But Superman would fight him and try to like kill him, right? Like, Superman's not going to be like, I'm not going to kill.
Depending on what version we're talking about,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's what I mean. I don't know. I feel like Batman is a little bit more targeted, where like everything is a lot more personal and like one-on-one. Where Superman, from a overarching standpoint, like he has more on his shoulders, I guess. I don't know how much of that is.
That's where I think of like a lot of the external stuff with Batman. But
what are Superman's flaws then?
He's
a dirty, rotten liar.
Sense of justice,
I guess.
I don't know.
So you would put Superman over Batman then?
I would, but obviously you feel strongly about Batman.
I think Batman has some.
He's written to be tragic. Like
like Batman's. A little
I'm reading more into like what Superman.
Well, let me put it this way, just to save us time, because I know we are kind of running. Do we think like does Batman or Superman make the list? Because I'm fine taking both of them off personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taking both off.
All right.
There's a lot of. I mean, they're all tragic.
Yeah.
Keys,
right? Oh, sure. Yeah.
All the comic book characters.
Right.
All right. You have anyone else?
I don't. So
Truman from the Truman Show. What if I told you your whole life was a fucking lie, and you were just used to make money for a big corporation?
That's a good one. I mean, I feel like he has a pretty. Yeah, he has a pretty good.
Doesn't matter,
right? Like,
yeah, he's a great life. It's fucking fake.
Yeah, but you don't find. He only finds that out like.
Dude, I mean, he's like an adult,
but he fixes his life in like 90 minutes.
Dude, what are you talking? Everything that happened. Your best friend lied to you. Your wife doesn't love you. She's an actress.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Everyone you know. You don't have any real relationships.
Your dad didn't die and did not come back. Well, actually, he did come back to you.
He did come back to you. He's an actor.
Yeah.
He doesn't love you. Yeah. No one loves you. You don't have anything.
I'll put Truman down.
The money you have, the memories you made, fake. You're an adult, and now you're leaving this bubble that was your life. What do you have?
I mean, nothing. Like you're gonna go into a world that you don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah.
You're gonna find out really quickly that it's not all sunshine and rainbows, and everything doesn't work out perfectly for the maximum entertainment value.
You're owned by a corporation.
Yeah.
I wonder how that works. Like to adopt. So, I mean, I guess
they
over
adopted
18,
him.
so it doesn't matter. Yeah, but that's such a weird.
That's like the reason you're not thinking it is because they paint in like, oh, he conquered this, he's free, and he does the wave at the end, and it's happy ending. No.
Yeah, but when you look at,
he's going to break down in about 10 minutes and realize everything he's ever known is completely fraudulent.
Like you have nothing. Like you don't have money.
Nothing.
You don't have anything. Yeah.
You have no real experience.
Yeah.
In anything.
I wonder, not to get on a tangent, but I wonder if you were to sue that studio,
yeah,
like you would have to win, right? Like you're just like, oh, you bought me and now I'm an actor and
I was a baby.
Give me those royalties. Yeah, I don't know.
Right, exactly.
They call it out. They're like, oh, it's the first time a company legally adopted someone. And so
it would never happen. What does that mean? It's a cool concept.
Yeah.
I love that movie. It's a good movie.
It's a very good movie.
Yeah. So that's rough. You've never seen Seven, right?
No, I didn't see Seven yet.
Oh, my God. Oh, David Mills, man. All right. What about Teddy Daniels from Shutter Island?
Yeah.
Wife kills your kid. You kill her. Go insane and convince yourself that none of that ever happened.
Yeah.
And then there's this elaborate ruse where you slowly find out you're actually insane.
Yep.
And it's this experiment to help break you of this kind of delusion that you've invented for yourself.
If that's even real. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we don't know. My interpretation of the ending is he voluntarily lobotomizes himself because it's too painful to live with the reality that he's a monster.
That's pretty tragic.
That's
we can put it,
fucked up.
Put Teddy on there.
Yeah.
You said his name is Daniels?
Yeah, Teddy Daniels. Yeah.
Right.
The only other guy I have on here is Billy Costigan. He's the guy from The Departed.
Yeah.
Undercover. He's got a rough go of it too. But Teddy's worse, so
No, I would put Teddy over.
Teddy's that's fucking rough.
I'm trying to think anything we are missing.
Cubone.
Cubone's pretty tragic.
I had Cubone on there.
Cubone's pretty tragic.
Max Payne.
Yeah, Max Payne's. I don't know. I feel like there's other ones.
He's got a rough go of it. I say Cloud. Cloud's pretty rough. I don't know if he's going to be top 5, but I like to mention that. Like, a lot of people he's close to dies. It's the same kind of thing. He convinces himself he's someone he's not.
Right.
The big thing for me is, like, he thinks he's, like, because this whole thing was, like, I'm going to be important. I'm going to be strong. I'm going to be badass, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be a soldier, whatever. And then he's, like, he thinks he's a soldier. And then he just comes to this realization that, like, I'm a nobody.
Yeah.
I'm, like, weak. I'm a loser. Everyone's dead, and I can't help anyone. And
it's a lot to...
That's a big kind of fucked. Like, everything I know is a lie.
Is it so much that you're just like, okay, that's top 5?
It's pretty bad.
I'll put it on the list. We'll talk about it. The list is actually quite long. We gotta
chop this down.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I have. I don't have anyone else.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many other ones of...
I was listening to Hakuna Matata on the way here, and Puma's pretty tragic. He's so smelly that no one wants to be his friend.
What about...
Except a meerkat.
Yeah, but at least you have a friend. Like, that's the thing. Is
exactly. It's not even on the list.
Like, it's just
but imagine just being so stinky.
Yeah. But he eventually, like, I don't know, he finds it.
They deal with the stink.
I view that on the same level as, like, everyone has that awkward moment in elementary school or grade school. Like, you know, like, just something where it's like you do something where, like, you're seen as,
outcast.
Like, yeah.
I
don't know.
I just thought it was funny.
What about Harry from Armageddon? No? Okay. All right, let me go through this list.
From Armageddon.
Yeah.
Oh, what about Will Smith when he's the last dude on Earth?
Yeah, I was thinking about that whenever you were talking earlier about, like, the zombies and stuff.
That's pretty rough. I still think Joel's worse.
I think so too.
Wow. Fucking Joel, dude.
I mean, he had to put his dog down. It's sad. I get it. But
yeah, whatever. Dude, being the last person on Earth is just horrible.
Yeah.
All right, we're missing a ton. But
I mean, we could keep.
All right, that's what we got.
Okay, so we have Eeyore, Jesse Pinkman, Anakin Skywalker,
Yep.
Doctor Who,
Yeah.
Joel,
Yeah.
Ethan Mars, Sansa Stark,
Yep.
Neville Longbottom, Harry Potter,
Yep.
Morton Solis,
Yep.
Kratos,
Yep.
Master Chief,
Yep.
Marcus Phoenix, Gollum,
Yep.
Truman.
Yeah.
Does Truman have a last name?
Show.
Truman Show. Truman Show.
The Truman Show.
Teddy Daniels, Cloud Strife. That's actually not bad because I just put the first name for all those people.
Not bad.
Yeah. All right, so Eeyore can probably get next from the list. We'll take Eeyore off.
I actually might have a late mention here.
Yeah.
I'd be remiss if I didn't include an anime character.
Okay.
So,
I'm surprised no anime made it to... Because I was trying to think of that, and I'm like, Krillin? Is Krillin tragic?
So, in Naruto, there's like a million, but Itachi has to be the most tragic, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to try to explain this in 30 seconds.
All right.
Essentially, he's part of a clan that's super strong, so the nation kind of ostracizes them, not in a way where they're like second-class citizens or anything, but they're like, oh, you can be part of the police force or something, like a menial kind of thing, because they're afraid if they all work together, they could just rise up.
Yeah.
Pretty much the rivalry goes back to the inception of the nation, where one of the guys is like, they're descendants of him and they kind of have a rivalry, whatever. So essentially, this clan is planning a coup for the nation itself, okay? So the chief of the clan, his eldest son, is in the special forces for the nation. And the leader of the nation is pretty much like, okay, we know that your clan is planning a coup. You need to stop them. Okay. So this guy loves his country so much,
Right.
and for the greater good, slaughters his entire clan, everyone, because he's like a prodigy. So he's like, he just kills everyone.
Yep.
Men, women, children. And then you have this scene where he's like sitting there in front of his parents after murdering everyone, and his father's sitting there, and he kills his mom first because he doesn't want his mom to see him kill his dad. And then his dad's like, I'm proud of you, son. And then he chops his head off. And then he turns around and his little kid brother is sitting there.
Yeah.
And then he can't bring himself to kill his little brother. So he convinces his little brother that he killed everyone because he's just evil. So his brother can train his whole life to kill him and exact his revenge and like complete the... I don't know. It's fucking wild.
I remember you telling me about that like before, and like that's pretty tragic.
And he has to live out the rest of his life. He like joins the evil guys so he can keep track of like them and what they're doing as like a undercover kind of agent.
Yeah.
But it's like...
So do you find that out? You said that was Naruto, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that out in like the beginning?
No.
So that's like the big reveal at the end.
Sasuke's whole thing is like, my brother killed everyone I know.
Right.
And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then Sasuke is trying to hunt him down. And then eventually when he kills his brother's like,
Yeah.
his brother doesn't tell him. It's actually another guy who tells him, hey, did you know your brother's actually a good guy? Because remember, his brother wanted him to hate him so that he would like his country.
Right.
But then this other guy who wants to overthrow the country is like, hey, by the way, your brother's a good guy and your country made him kill everyone. So then he makes Sasuke like hate his country.
Yeah.
And then he ends up like killing everyone. It's fucking crazy.
So that's Naruto's not just like a little kiddie show, apparently.
No, it's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
So
do you want to put him on?
There's a lot of characters, but I would put him on the maybe.
All right.
That's just
How do you spell it?
Itachi.
Yeah. Hitachi?
It's like Itachi something.
That's fine. I got it. Itachi.
Yeah,
It's like the magic
Itachi.
wand, but without the H. All right. So
All right, we can chop Eeyore.
Eeyore's gone. Sorry, Eeyore.
I feel bad for Eeyore.
I'll take off Doctor Who. I think that's like
How
a special
strongly
mention,
do you
but-
feel about... Well, if you're going to take off Doctor Who, then I'll take off Itachi. I mean...
No, because I
fuck
think
do you care
Itachi...
about?
Like,
Dude,
let's leave it
the
on
way
for a
you were
second.
describing Doctor Who, I'm like, this is incomprehensibly tragic.
Just because you have like 13 lives.
Fate of the universe,
like,
you die, and then everyone assuming like the relationships you make in your life,
people
you just lose,
leave you and you move on, and
and then you go to a different, and you have to start all over, and you retain your memories, correct? Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. It's like you're in
bueno.
it's almost like you're like an out of body experience. You're a new person, but still knowing everything.
Right.
Else. So you start like losing.
Jesus Christ. I'll leave it up to you, man.
All right, let me keep it back on because
Yeah.
the more I think about it, it's like,
he's
pretty.
You did
pretty
a
tragic.
pretty good explanation of that. Like I said, just because I haven't seen it, I don't want to stop it. From,
Like knowing your death, knowing where you go to die, know it, like where you're just like, I'm never going there
How do you-
ever.
yeah, how
because
do
if
you-
I go there, I'm dead.
how do you
and then
deal
it's just
with
like,
that?
hey, guess what? You got to go there.
you have to go there.
Constantly oppressed by certain aliens. They're trying to constantly like take over the world.
Yeah.
Like, what do we feel about Ethan Mars?
Yeah, we can chop him.
I feel like
Yeah.
he's tragic, but at the same time, I feel like
Well, we're talking about universal stakes.
a lot of people are losing kids and stuff too.
Yeah.
Not to make light of that. Let me see. Okay, so just to keep Jesse Pinkman, Anakin, Joel, Doctor Who, Sansa, Neville, and Harry. How do we feel about Neville and Harry?
Top 5, probably not.
Okay,
It's pretty tragic.
I would say maybe you can make a case for Harry, but I feel like
Harry goes-
Neville's parents. Sure, like I didn't know about
Harry
that.
goes
like,
through just a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has a
Do you feel
bad few years.
Do you think he top 5?
compared to some of these? No.
Okay. Yeah, me neither.
Generally speaking, I think the stakes are just too big.
I don't think it always has to be stakes, but
I shouldn't say state, but like similar issues.
yeah, I think he has enough good. Like he's got a good support group
Yeah,
that.
he has some good time. I mean, look, if he's super trad, like he still plays some Quidditch. He still makes time for that.
Plays
sport.
Quidditch. He's like really good at what he does.
Yeah,
You know. Gets to marry his love.
Yeah.
Like Jesse Pinkman does not get to marry his love.
Jesse Pinkman
goes through two.
Yeah.
Sees a child get poisoned.
Yeah.
Gets held captive.
It's a more grounded thing. So we're talking about stakes. Like this fate of the universe. Like Jesse Pinkman's like very much like
Jesse Pinkman has to kill a guy.
Yeah. A very nice guy.
A very nice innocent guy.
Yep.
Kills him.
Yep.
Right in his face.
Yeah.
Has to live with that forever. Walter doesn't. He's dead. What does he care?
Allegedly.
Oh, wow. Can you imagine?
I mean, you don't see him die.
Yeah, you do.
Not die.
What? He's like laying there. So he's either dead or in prison because the cops are there.
Right.
He's dead.
Sure. I mean,
is that a theory? There's no way.
Look, man, until you see him buried, like they left it open where it's like, if we wanted to bring him back, they could do it.
I don't think so. Disagree.
They could do it.
They could. I disagree that the door is open. Maybe a crack.
Dude,
maybe
you have a car drive up and you just see him being dragged away, and then you don't know who has him.
The light has left his eyes at that last scene, in my opinion. He is dead. He's gone.
Sure. And then you just hear clear.
There's like a whole pool of blood. He's like missing all of his blood.
Oh, I'm not saying it's
and then you hear clear.
Yeah. It's a suspension of disbelief. Or belief or whatever. Yeah.
Jesse Pinkman, I think, belongs on the list.
Like is a lock on there? I'll give you that.
So, dude,
yeah.
He is.
I'm looking at some of these. So you make a very compelling argument for Truman.
Dude, I couldn't imagine a worse nightmare.
Yeah.
You wake up tomorrow and you realize that Chelsea's fake. She's an actress.
Yep.
Your parents.
Yep.
Yeah. No, they don't care about you. They care about the paycheck they're getting.
So there are plenty of times where I'm like, do I know? Like the fact that you're bringing that up, right?
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
Are you fake? Is this podcast fake? Are you just telling me this to try to like
get you away from
me think about it? Yeah.
Is this my subtle way of warning you?
Just
that they
blinking.
Are holding my
Suddenly
family
you're
captive.
Like, hey, I don't want to do this podcast anymore. I'm gonna go join the military, and then we just disappear.
Never see you again. So, like I said, he's leaving that bubble.
Yeah,
and he's having a mental breakdown in about 10 minutes.
Do you think Truman's a lock on a top 5?
I make a pretty. I don't know. I think so. Yes.
We'll play around. We'll see how that.
Dude, no one else. At least everyone else on this list has real experiences, real loss, real relationships. Marcus Phoenix had a best friend. He died. That sucks. Yeah. But at least he had one that actually cared about him.
That's true.
At least he has a son. Truman has nothing.
Yeah.
He has nothing. He is nothing. Is he even real?
I guess to be fair, he is one of the most popular people in the world.
Yeah. So now he can't relate to anyone because he's some sort of object that they've been looking at you for.
Look, man, you make a compelling.
He's going to go the rest of his life with complete trust issues.
That's true.
Who is he going to fucking trust?
Yeah.
Except the girl that like tries to break him out.
Yeah.
Like that's his only real relationship.
Right. Okay.
Until the government goes after her. And I don't know. It's the whole conspiracy.
I'll put him on the list. So right now, Jesse Pinkman and Truman are on the list. Are you saying then we take like Marcus, Master Chief?
Yeah.
Those guys off? All right.
I would be more inclined to put Master Chief on if they did him more justice in Infinite.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, granted the books and everything kind of dive into a little bit more and stuff, but
I've always said this, his childhood, like if we get to see a little Chief running around playing with bricks and then just gets nabbed. Oh my God.
So I'm going to take Sansa off just because I don't like her character.
Okay.
I think it's very, very tragic. I think what she went through is just
you can have a Game of Thrones list all in itself.
Yeah, extremely tragic.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Sansa Stark fan.
I have to.
Yeah, I just have to. And, like it's like she went through some terrible stuff.
How do you feel about Cloud?
I think you made better arguments for just about everyone else. Like you have Cloud doing like everything you said, but I don't know.
it's tough watching his hometown burn down. That's pretty rough.
Yeah.
Aerith dying right in front of him. Rough times.
Yeah, but I guess maybe that didn't like hit me as much just because it was like, all right, well,
you knew about it first.
Tifa. Yeah, well,
you have to think about it from his perspective. He thinks he's Zack.
Yeah.
So that's why he's enamored by Aerith, because like Zack was like in love with her or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like a part of him, like obviously it's like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So when she dies, it's like, oh fuck.
But is it as tragic? Not that we could have both, but like, is it as tragic as killing your family, wearing your ashes, killing your other family, killing all the gods, having your wife die, having
Kratos is a lock.
I just wanted to.
Well, there's 2 spots left.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Cubone?
So, Cubone's off. Yeah, we'll take Cubone off. That's tragic, but
wearing your mom's skull is pretty rough, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not as bad as your family's ashes, I suppose, but
I would be okay taking Joel off the list too. Tragic, but
yeah,
as tragic as some of these other ones. How do you feel about Anakin? The more I think about it, the more it's just like, you're just a bad dude.
Yeah, it's he got used, he got manipulated, but he just bought into it at some point, and then he just went full. He's like, fuck it, I'm just evil
and like
now.
Yeah.
It's not like Kratos, who's like, I know I'm a monster, I would need to do better. Like he's constantly fighting, battling himself.
Yeah,
it's like,
to an extent. I mean, Kratos isn't a good guy at all.
No,
but at the same time,
he wants to be better.
Yeah, or
that's the whole message in like the new God of War. It's like, Atreus, we need to be better. We can't continue this fucking cycle.
He wants something to. I mean, the fact that you're like, okay, I guess I'll start another family. Oh, okay, I guess I'll start another family. He's looking like it.
Yes.
That alludes to the fact that he's searching for
just
something.
Wants peace.
Yeah,
and he cannot find it. Whereas Vader's like, nope, I'm evil. I will
full send.
Full send, exactly. So I think you feel less bad for him. I feel less bad
I
for him.
I do definitely feel less bad for him. I mean, I guess if you're taking into account, again, the books, the Clone Wars cartoon and stuff, like maybe.
It's tragic, for sure. I feel less bad for him, though, because he's not trying to do anything better.
How do you feel about Morden?
Maybe not top 5.
Yeah. I that's kind of like, I'm looking at the list. I'm watching us whittle it down. I'm just like, Morden is, again, tragic. But tragic. Like, Gollum is like,
Gollum
tragic.
Is a lock. When I think tragedy, that's just
like you pathetic creature. Again, like, greed made you kill someone.
Yep.
Arguably, like, oh, did the ring make him kill? But like,
he would kill everyone in the universe.
Yeah.
For that ring.
Yeah.
He is so beholden. It's like, I mean, just look at him. Just look at him. He's just a monster.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's horrifying. It's tragic.
No, yes.
So we got one spot left?
I like it. Yeah, so, I mean...
Because I think he deserves... Do you agree with that?
I do.
Okay.
It's... Yeah. No, I do. I do.
Okay.
I think overall I feel worse for him. So right now it's between Doctor Who, Teddy Daniels, and Itachi. I'm fine... well, am I fine? So I would like to take Teddy Daniels off the list because I think it really comes down, for me, it comes down to Itachi the way you described it.
Yeah.
Or Doctor Who. Personally.
Hold on a sec.
Okay.
While the stakes are not as big for Teddy Daniels, the fact that you choose, this man chooses to completely mutilate himself because living with the truth is far more painful.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's really bad.
It is. But you're also taking not the easy way out, but you're taking a way out versus...
He's so tragic, it's like he can't live with himself, so he's just forfeiting. He's giving up. Like, at least Doctor Who's, like, has a chipper attitude about things.
Well, to an extent. So the whole thing is, like, you have those doctors, but then there's also the War Doctor, who is the one that basically, like, nuked Gallifrey.
Yikes.
So that's when they just, like, they're like, oh, he's not the Doctor.
Right.
So when you think about it, you're like, there was a generation of me Like there was a regen of me. There was a personality of me that did this. That I'm like, I'm locking that away.
So that's like part of him that did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like if you're looking at all the different doctors and then the war doctor, who's not a numbered doctor, they literally call him the war doctor.
War doctor, yeah.
As like like it's a whole thing. And like technically,
but he essentially just
like,
killed a lot of people.
Yeah. Well, it's like, okay, how do you end it? How do you like stop the, like
cycle
invasion?
Invasion.
It's
so he was doing it for good reasons.
Like justified.
Right, so let's just compare these.
They then haunt him for forever.
Yeah,
like that's the kind of thing.
Endlessly.
Yeah, because that's when
There's
they
no
took
reprieve.
all the different like all the doctors were together because they all time traveled back to that same spot. It was a whole thing.
Yikes!
But like even if you're looking at it just from like a love standpoint, like all his companions, like you were saying, like he like fell in love with Rose, can't be with her.
Nope.
Your friend, you have to upload to a computer because she like, or I forget, like you have to like brainwash her or something, and she has to completely forget about you because if she remembered, then all the memories would flood back in, and she would just, her mind would melt.
Jeez,
just stuff like that, where it's like
rough.
All the you just constantly, it's just loss. Yeah, I don't know. It's just you deal with.
All right, we can take Daniels off.
Like
that's pretty.
Like Daniels is very like.
That's very close.
But it's the same thing with like a Jesse Pinkman thing. Like Daniels is a way of making it very personalized and very like real world scenario.
Just because the stakes aren't universal does not mean that the tragedy of this guy isn't substantial.
Completely agree. I just think that really Teddy Daniels is like, it was like this one thing that made him go.
Yeah, his
crazy,
wife
like Jesse
drowned
Pinkman.
his kid.
No, 100%. No, it's a bad thing. Don't get me wrong.
Like, what?
But I'm just saying with Jesse Pinkman, like,
it's one after the other.
You have the dead kid. You have the dead girlfriends. You have the dead. Like,
balls.
I had to kill this person. I got trapped in a cage for a year or whatever. It's manipulated from episode 1.
Times it blew a guy's head off.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's so fucked up.
So really, it comes down to between Doctor Who and Itachi. I think you make a good, compelling argument for Itachi, and like
it's pretty rough. Like, not only are you completely isolated, like he kills his fiance, he kills his best friend.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh geez.
Tells his best friend about like, here's the plan, and he's like, okay, you have to do it. Kills him, takes his eye because the eyes are their powers. So he gouges his eye out, puts it in himself. So he's walking around with his dead best friend's like eye.
I'm just gonna take Doctor Who off the list. That's fine.
It's
yikes.
Well, actually, maybe he doesn't take his eye. It's something like if you kill the closest person to you, you unlock the next stage of power or something. It's really weird. Anyways, it's very fucked up.
Yeah.
Doctor Who is like transcending lifetimes of pain and suffering. So I don't think it's obvious. Okay. I just think, I don't know. To me, it's like the scene where he kills his parents like fucks up. And you're like training your younger brother to hate you so much that he seeks revenge on you and kills you.
That's fair.
But with that being said, to know that a part of you nuked the planet feels pretty bad.
Yeah. Like it does. I mean, that's the thing is, I don't know.
I don't know. What do you think?
Just,
what do you think?
No, I remember you telling me that story before. I'm okay with Itachi on there. I like Doctor Who, but at the same time, it is a little bit different where it's like, okay, like he keeps regenerating. I guess she keeps regenerating at this point because I think she's has one more season or something. And they're gonna regenerate again.
Sure.
I don't know. No, I'm fine with Itachi.
I feel like Doctor Who's like very much a good guy, mostly. Right?
They play with that.
Play with it?
Yeah, because he's like he saves people. He's a good guy, but at the same time, there is like this kind of arrogance.
Yeah, but Itachi's like, I am going to become a monster for the greater good.
Yeah,
which is
that's what I mean. And then you have to just live with being a horrible
slaughtering innocent people, and then he joins like the bad guys, so he has to continue to be like he just fully commits to the role.
Yeah,
I'm evil,
right?
But he's not really evil because in the grand scheme of his plan, his brother is going to avenge his clan while saving the village. Look,
man, I'll take your because like we're I watched Doctor Who, you didn't. You watched Naruto, I didn't.
Right.
So it's like okay,
it's tough.
Pick one.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the list right now is Jesse Pinkman, Kratos, Gollum, Truman, and Hitachi.
Yeah.
The more we'll keep Truman on.
So you want Hitachi as 5 because you don't.
I mean, I would put Truman as 5. I know you really like Truman.
I'm telling you.
How can you look? I'm not saying Truman wouldn't go through some shit, but
some shit.
How could he?
I think there's a high likelihood he fucking kills himself.
Sure, but I'm not just brushing that off. But like, yes, but yeah. I feel like the way you talk about Itachi, where it's like you literally murder everybody.
Yeah.
Like, think about murdering your best friend, your fiance, your parents. Like, that's insane.
You're acting. Yeah, that's true.
No, that's like.
But at least he had a fiance. He had a best friend. He had a village to murder.
But Truman can get that. Now, granted, I agree with you with the trust issues.
He has the rest of his life.
Capability of doing that.
Yeah. Okay, Truman at 5.
And technically, he has a girlfriend.
True.
Opens up the door, girlfriend right there. That's more than a lot of people have.
Go. Truman's fucked up.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's messed up. But all right.
5's Truman.
I would say Itachi number 4. So we just over Jesse Pinkman, Kratos, Gollum.
It's either Itachi or Pinkman.
Yeah.
I think Pinkman.
And number 4.
Because, like you said,
do you feel throughout the course? Let me put it this way. Throughout
that's
the
true.
Course of it,
that's
a
great.
Worse for Hitachi.
Once you find out, you're like, it just hits you all at once. Whereas Pinkman, it's just a slow IV drip of holy.
Yeah,
God.
like the entire series is just like let's just keep curb stomping this poor guy.
Like you feel bad for Sasuke because you're like, oh man, your brother's a dick, and then you're like, oh wait, no. You're a dick. Your brother's yeah. Okay. Itachi's good at 4. Yeah.
Because I mean, like, he still is like, oh, I'm part of the bad guys. It's kind of like the Anakin thing of like, I'm Darth Vader now, and like,
but you have
like,
to.
Oh, I never wanted to be this. I don't want to be this. The bad
guy's goal is to kidnap these children with demons trapped inside of them and sacrifice them.
You anime nerds.
I'm telling you, dude, it's fucking crazy. You're kidnapping these kids, killing them so you can get the demon out to get all the demons and create pretty much a super weapon to destroy the world.
Pick any wish you want. Is that
yes.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Pick any wish you want. There's rules, I think.
Look, if you think
no, I think you're right because exactly
like
tragedy, like it's the whole shit. It's just one after the. It's bombardment.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Tachi, I'm good at Tachi 4. I'm just saying that dude's tragic.
Do you? So this is going to get kind of interesting though.
Yeah.
Because out of Jesse Pinkman, Kratos, and Gollum, I feel the least bad about Kratos.
Really?
Yeah.
When's the last time you played the first games?
Oh, quite some time, but
dude, it's like, hey, I'll help you out, Kratos. Hey, I'll give you power, Kratos.
That's true.
Hey, here's what you want, Kratos. Stabbed in the back, stabbed in the back, stabbed in the back, and then Kratos has to crawl his way out of hell, kill his father, kill everyone. It's fucking crazy. It's just disgusting.
Fair. I guess it's fair.
Like Athena, like, oh my god.
So what would you say number 3 is then? Is that where Jesse Pinkman comes in? Yeah.
This is dumb. These are 3.
Yeah. No. Okay. Let me move it down. Let's see what this looks like. So
I'm
we're
thinking Pinkman 3, and then I would do Kratos 2 if you think Gollum's worse.
I'm just trying to think about because like Kratos. So
isn't Gollum alive for like hundreds of years?
That's what I mean. Like Kratos,
just in a cave.
Like Gollum has unnaturally long life. Yeah. Literally living in a cave with this.
And by unnaturally long life, doesn't Kratos live forever?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like Kratos is still like he's doing stuff. He gets another family. He has these moments.
Just wait till his kid dies.
Well, no, right, or his kid kills him.
Oh my god!
But what I'm saying is, like, he has these moments, and there are other things. Like Kratos is banging everybody in the games. There are moments of some pleasure. What I'm saying is,
well, Gollum has immense pleasure through sitting in a cave with a ring. We don't understand it, but he has it.
I guess, but can you imagine? But it's not about necessarily him as much as, like, how do I feel about this character? And if I'm looking at this character, and
so paranoid,
like literally nothing, he's in like a loincloth in a cave, eating raw fish and just holding this ring,
talking to himself,
and that's it. Like
for
nothing
hundreds
else.
of years.
That's just like that's what he has. To me, that's like, oh my gosh, I feel
stuff.
I feel very bad.
He has nothing but the ring.
Yeah, and then it just leaves and someone steals it. So you're by yourself this entire thing, and then this hobbit comes in and steals it.
Yep.
And that's your entire life.
Yep, that's your entire life is getting it back.
Yikes. I don't know.
That's pretty bad.
That's how I see it.
There's like no noble purpose. No, you're not
that's
trying to save the universe. You're not trying to avenge something. It's like you're just addicted to this ring.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel bad about it. Like
you're right. Kratos is like has a mission. He has redemption in his.
There are other
now.
things going on in his life
There's
where he can point to it, and he's kind of a bad guy. I'm not saying Gollum's he murdered someone to start this
Gollum's
off.
horrible.
Yeah, but then he's just
the epitome of greed.
Yeah,
right?
And then you have like this brief thing too, because like just to kind of even drive it in, where it's like, oh, he kind of pushes Gollum back, and Smeagol comes back out, and he's like excited and happy and stuff, and that lasts for all of 2 seconds, and then he just goes right
seemingly
back.
betrayed, and
Yep.
Yikes. And then he jumps into a
then
volcano.
And then you're constantly like at war with yourself, like throughout
That's what I'm saying.
all that
He's
stuff.
just insane.
Like,
He's like, oh my god.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
All right. So we saying Kratos number 2?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. So that means etched in stone.
Etched in stone.
Do you know how many people were missing? Like, let's talk about the genie trapped in a lamp for hundreds of thousands of years. Let's talk about the beast who is like cursed. And it's just like, I'm just saying. Disney
but he gets a happy ending. He gets a smoking hot wife. The genie gets to travel the world, and he has infinite amount, and he gets to keep his infinite amount of power.
Yeah, that's fair.
Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Well, he doesn't keep his infinite amount of power. It's less power.
We're missing like Oedipus.
Yeah.
Like he fucking kill his dad.
Yeah, it's like Kratos.
Bangs his mom.
Yeah, it's like Kratos.
And then has a kid.
Yeah.
Realizes he banged his that's like the worst thing ever. Right?
But you're in a cave with a ring.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I don't know.
I still am looking at Truman and just laughing because, like, all right, let me just be clear. Sansa Stark went through more than Truman.
Yeah, but at least Sansa Stark had real emotions.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, Sansa Stark. I haven't seen it, but yeah, she just saw everyone die.
I think every single person in Game of Thrones is more tragic.
I'm
than
saying it deserves its own list, honestly, right? Like
we might have to. Whenever you eventually come to watching that after your 40 hours of Marvel movies and
Game of Thrones,
yeah,
I'm not watching Game of Thrones.
You're never watching Game of Thrones?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
Dude, the ending's so bad. It's like, why would I watch something where I know the ending's terrible?
Yeah.
I'm a very complete story kind of guy.
Yeah.
So if I know something's going to be bad at the end, I'm like, I'm going to waste my time. Which
it's hard to,
it's narrow-sighted, but I mean,
it's hard to argue that, but
it's very good. Yeah.
Few seasons
yeah.
are
Right.
Quite good.
Oh yeah. I'm sure.
Okay.
Truman.
I mean, honestly, when you think about it, look at like Dexter.
Like, I've never seen Dexter.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
Dexter.
So Dexter is, hey, I'm a little kid. I watch my mom get murdered with a chainsaw. My brother gets taken from me. I grew up to be a serial killer. Dad dies. Sister dies. Wife dies. Like literally everyone just dead as I'm killing people. Like that's a tragic person too. But
wow.
No, we're missing so many.
Oh yeah.
So many things. Okay.
100%.
Putting all the missing people aside, as people will, I'm sure, flame us. Number 5, Truman from The Truman Show.
I stand by it.
Number 4, Itachi from Naruto. Number 3, Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. Number 2, Kratos from God of War. And number 1 is Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Very much a couch company list.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Got some themes.
Of course.
I feel very bad for Gollum.
I feel horrible for all of those people.
The real question is, would we feel as bad for Gollum if it wasn't for Andy Serkis's performance?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably still feels bad for him.
Yeah, but
It was a good performance,
I feel
though.
pretty bad for Doctor Who. And
Doctor Who's pretty good, and, too bad we just etched it in stone.
no, it's too late. It's etched in. We're never going to talk about this again. But yeah.
Absolutely. You made a good case for him. I'm surprised you...
It's a culmination. If you go back the past maybe 3 episodes, I'm throwing you some bones because I feel like we're going to have this one meaningful, like, oh, we really disagree here.
Yeah.
As long as you kind of came out on top on a few of the more recent ones,
Sure.
then I feel pretty good about that.
Hey, man, I'll take it. I like bones.
Playing a long game. No, I agree. Like you made a great case for Itachi, and I can't fathom that. Like,
Well, I meant over Truman, but yeah.
Truman, that's all right. You made a good case for Truman. Again, like if it's me thinking about how would I react in this situation or how could I do this, like that would be
I can't fathom
crazy.
that.
Yeah. Just I think the whole trust issues would be a big
Dude,
what
your
do you do?
parents, your friends,
Everything about you is fake. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Your accomplishments
Yep.
were all fake.
Yep. All scripted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
In some ways,
can't-
aren't we all already all scripted?
no.
Because okay, never mind.
right,
We won't
whatever.
go down there.
There we are.
it.
That's what we got. That was a long top 5, but fun nonetheless.
Yeah.
I think we learned something along the way that our lives are not so bad.
Yeah, we are all very fortunate, and
That we aren't addicted
people can
to
think up some just terrible stuff.
Yeah, we
generally
have capacity to. Yeah.
Even the happiest like places have a very depressing donkey. That's the moral of the story. That's probably going on a t-shirt.
Yeah. Is he a donkey? Yeah, pin the tail on a donkey. All right, well, that's what we got. Check us out on couchcompany.games.
I feel real bad ending on that.
I don't know another note to end on.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Our other lists are on there. They're a little bit more spirited, uplifting than this one. But we appreciate you listening if you got this far. And we'll be here same time, same place next week. Thanks for joining us on the couch. Peace.